misconceptions. We've got truth in our possession. No room for doubt, no time to waste. It's time to put flat earth in its place. Here comes the smackdown.
Welcome everybody to Tuesday night. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready for the smackdown. Now last week my audio was not awesome. I listened to it back, so I don't know. I'm not super awesome at fixing audio and getting it figured out, but I'm going to. And I don't like listening to myself. Some people pipe themselves back in through and like listen to themselves. That's extremely difficult for me to do, but I'm going to do it right now. And I can hear it. Oh, I know why. You hear that? Okay. That's because it was going to my room. All right, go to your... all right. Oh, I can't stand hearing myself. It's delayed. Okay. I think it sounds fine. So, unless somebody's like it sounds terrible, then I'll leave it. I'm going to fix it so I don't hear myself. I keep interrupting myself. Stop interrupting myself. Okay, better. How you doing? I'm glad you're here. It's been an entertaining time. I spoke at a convention last week, presented the vulnerabilities once again in Dearth's crappy app, and somebody was there. Somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, I like your videos." So I didn't get your name. So if you're here now, then mention it here that you saw me at the convention. Otherwise, like, send me an email at least so I know your name, so we can introduce ourselves a little better, because I wasn't expecting somebody to walk up to me and say, "Hey, I know you." I was a little bit like surprised. Anyway, all right. When are you going to start streaming without your shirt like Vlad? It may improve your subs like 2 times. No, that would have the opposite effect. So, all right. So here's what I did. Yesterday, Flatsoid, top left winner, by the way. Flatsoid did a live stream, and somebody a good guy was on a bit, but also Sav was on. Brenda was on for a minute, and but then at the end, Bev came on. So it was a disaster. So what I did is I got some clips, and I put them together quick. So the clips are going to be a little bit like I really did rush putting them together. So I'm not going to be super knowledgeable about what each individual clip is going to have. But I do have them, and I watched a little bit. So they don't understand the moon. They don't understand geometry. They don't understand anything. So anyway, this is going to be several clips. This first one is 3 minutes. And I tried to get the ones where they're kind of arguing, because that hot Flerf on Flerf action is what everybody is here for. So anyway, here we go.
Open panel chat, actually.
It's a quick.
And I'm sure that some people that want to say yes to see how that is good to see it. Question before we started, or to wait again, Luca.
All right, so Luca's there.
Yeah.
Luca's not a Flerf.
It was about Flatsoid's little clip of the sun and moon. That was one of them I had. But it was unrelated to the topic. That's why I asked it early, because I had another question about the Bible. But we can start with this one.
Okay, well, start
Yeah,
with this one. Okay, this is the clip you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously it's taken, since it's you, it's taken in South Africa.
Okay, so before we get into it, we don't know yet what their misunderstanding is. So what do you think the misunderstanding is? You think about it. The lamp in the lower box is barfing up a rainbow. I don't know what you're talking about. But, hold on. My wife thought, what are you doing? Because my wife came to the convention and Astrocate was there too. I took this. This was the thing sitting outside the conference room that I spoke in. So here's the schedule for Thursday, and here's the schedule for Friday. And look at that at the bottom there. I had honing all the flat earthers. So you tell me, if I'm the last one, like these are the openers, right? Is that how it works? These are the openers, and then this is the headline. Is that how it works at a conference? I don't know. You tell me. I'm quite a bit louder than the video, and you're slightly distorted. Gain needs to come down a touch. Okay, there we go. That's what I was looking for. So I have some filters on. Gain is a bit up. There we go. So there's gain dropped a good chunk. So you tell me, give me a little feedback on the gain. So, okay. Anyway, there it is. Here it is. And on the way out, totally surprised me. My martial arts instructor yells across the street. It's like yelling at me, like, who's yelling at me? We're leaving and somebody's yelling across the street my name. And I'm like, oh, it's my martial arts instructor. It was pretty cool to see him there. So, all right. Any feedback on the sound? Is this a little better? So anyway, do they think the moon should only be visible at night? Well, that's one thing, but no. It sounds a bit hollow. I don't know how to fix hollow. A bit more down, still peaking. Now, so the challenge with me is I'm colorblind. Oh, peaking is when it's in the red. Hold on. I can do this. There we go. There. Now it's not, it's just touching the red. I can see the red, but the not red portion of it is like, there's sort of different colors, but I can't really tell. So anyway, why is the moon seen during the daytime? What else do they not get about the moon? A lot of the time they look at the moon and they're like, we're meant to believe that's the earth casting its shadow on the moon. How is that possible if the sun is up at the same time? There are so many Flerfs that don't understand moon phases, and they think that is it. That's not it either. If the sun is up, the moon can't be up. Oh, they don't get it's made of cheese. The moon terminator illusion is often another thing. So anyway, let's listen to what they really don't understand here.
What 22nd? Is that when you took this? Oh.
This is like a few. I actually took this thing, I think, last week sometime. I only uploaded it this week though. But look at the moon there, Luca. Is that moon fully lit up by the sun?
No.
And the sun looks.
All right. Yeah. Flatsoid thinks he's just set the trap. He's like, oh, here we go.
Pretty much adjacent to it, doesn't it?
It's not adjacent to it. You'll see in a second. It's not adjacent.
Look where the sun's position is.
Yeah.
See how much that's not adjacent? It's on opposite sides of the horizon. And PJ's like, they're adjacent to it.
Like the Earth is not in the way.
It's pretty much opposite.
Yes.
Oh, now he says pretty much opposite. Good job, PJ. You so smart.
So what's blocking the light from fully lighting up the moon's surface?
Yeah. How come we don't see the full 360 degrees?
Yep. PJ wants to know why you don't see the full 360 degrees lit up of a sphere. Why can't you see all 360 degrees of a sphere, people? Obviously, if you can't see all 360 degrees of a sphere, something's wrong, according to this absolute genius. Yeah, he is that dumb. He doesn't understand that the most you could see of it is half. But he's trying to say, I think, why isn't all of it illuminated? Not 360 degrees. He says, why can't you see all 360 degrees when he is meaning, why isn't the entire face of it lit up? Oh my gosh.
Of the
I mean, the moon is dirt, right? A physical
It
object.
is like it is like 400 times more farther away, though.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
what? Why?
Yep, that's it. They're so confused by that. It completely baffled them. All right, a little more.
No, because our vantage point, like, shifts during the month, right? So we are seeing, like, varying fractions of.
And Paul Green says, very good point, says lots of Globers can't explain moon phases either, nothing to be ashamed of. But these people are asserting that they're smarter than everybody else, that they've figured out the geometry, that they are the ones that have done their own research and are smarter than everybody else and have seen through. They've seen through it all. Somehow they're the ones that are woke and more educated than everybody else. Yet they aren't educated at all.
That illuminated half?
Again, you would see the whole thing lit up. The whole moon.
And to that, I have one thing to say. False.
The whole face should see lit up. It's not.
Yes, because we are at different vantage points during the month, right?
It's not about your vantage point. I mean,
About the
like,
light lighting it up. It doesn't matter if I lift up and look at the bottom from the ball, I still see where the light source is, it will light up. If I even look at the top, I'll still see where the light source is. Like, it doesn't matter which your vantage point is. The point is the physical light is reaching the physical ball you claim,
Right.
yet that physical
Yes,
ball is
the
not lit up
physical-
by the physical light.
That's how dumb they are. Right? Here you go. Here's the moon. Right? If the sun's over here, only this portion of it's going to be lit up. You're going to have, if it's way that direction, right? The Terminator line is going to be right along here. How is this hard for them to get? Right? And if the viewer is here, where the camera is, that's what you're going to see, half of the moon. And that's what we saw there. The sun way over there. These are the people that think they got it figured out. They're claiming that they've got it figured out. That's why they don't get any grace on this, right? They're trying to educate the dumb globers when they don't even know the geometry of the globe. They need to. You have to understand the thing that you're critiquing in order to critique it.
There's
Yeah,
no structure.
physically, I'm not.
Luca, let me just help you because you're explaining it well. They're just not understanding it. Flatsoid, pull up your sketch that you did. That's a great sketch.
The one that wasn't in scale, I have to redraw it again.
Like,
It doesn't
I agree.
For this, it doesn't have to be
I
a scale.
absolutely agree that physically, yes, 100%.
Oh, there, Wesley. Okay, so I didn't know who W was here, and apparently it's Wesley. who's in the chat here. Grand Leonard, is that how you say it?
always lit up by the sun.
The problem, Luca, is he drew
Visually.
the wrong. The problem is he drew the wrong hemisphere blocked by the sun.
Visually, it's not. Visually, we see because our vantage point changes over the month. Right?
This will take 2 seconds. It's not that hard to understand. It is difficult to explain, but Flats has got a good drawing here.
Okay. Or no?
Okay, so draw the terminator line on the Earth.
So now, the Earth is the large thing, and the sun and the moon are the smaller things. Those are the sun and moon, right? The scale is so incredibly wrong.
On the Earth.
There it is.
Yeah, do you know what a terminator? Which side is in darkness?
Okay. Well, according to your belief system.
Yeah, we're doing the globe. I agree with you.
Okay.
It should be perpendicular to the sun.
Yeah.
So draw a line from
Okay,
the sun.
so it'll be like this.
Yeah, there you go. Good job. Now do it on the moon.
Wow.
That's not what we're seeing.
Yeah, put your person on the Earth, kind of where your cursor is.
Now, I wonder if he'll intentionally put the person in the wrong spot.
But I'm standing here.
Yep. You see half the moon lit.
Oh, that's not the right spot. So to do it right, the moon should be farther away down, on the left side. Because they were on opposite horizons, so they should be a little farther. But, it's kind of in the right vicinity.
See that?
That's not what we see. You should see the whole moonlit.
What are you talking about? You have the terminator. Do you
You can
deny
literally see
the terminator line?
Oh my gosh, he's so dumb.
You can literally see the whole. I can see the underneath of the moon.
You can't. Yeah, exactly, but you can't see it.
It's not lit.
Why'd you
see it.
delete the terminator line on the moon?
Because I'm trying to show you. You can see this.
Draw the
This is your
terminator
favorite.
line now, Flatsoid.
This is no. You wanted me to put a terminator line the same as the moon. As the Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Draw the terminator line for the.
He won't do it because he has realized that it shows his position to be wrong. That's how dishonest Flatsoid is.
Moon. You
There
had
is
it
no
on there.
terminator line. That's the point. The light is reaching it
Wait.
fully.
Why did you draw it before then? Are you
Because
seriously?
you told me
lying?
to. Because you told me to.
Okay, draw the terminator line on the moon.
There is no terminator line.
Why?
Why is there one on the Earth but not on the moon?
You told me to put it on.
Yes, on the Earth and the moon. Go ahead.
Even on your globe model, this terminator line would be on the Earth because the sun is here.
I agree with you. I do the same thing
But
for.
the
do
problem
same-
is,
see, he
the
won't
sun
do it.
is reaching the whole point of the moon.
No,
There
draw
is
the
no
terminator
terminator line.
Draw the
Okay.
terminator line.
Okay, there.
See, there is
Okay.
one. Okay, now look.
The moon definitely
You
has.
just said the
Okay.
moon doesn't have one.
It doesn't. It won't because it's totally rough.
Why is
Okay,
there one on the
here's
Earth?
the terminator line
I
according
thought
to
you said it
you.
wasn't.
Okay, here's the terminator line according to you, Wesley.
Okay, and now you could, if you move the moon a little bit closer, you'd be able to see the backside, the dark side of the moon there.
You can't see a dark side of the moon because there's no light.
That's why it's half blocked out in your video. You explained it perfectly. Good job.
No. Let me show you something.
For goodness
I know
sake.
this guy's a
I know,
moron,
how
but
can you not get
sometimes
this,
this
TK?
moron.
No, how can you not frigging get it, bro? And how can you laugh at what
Look.
you're saying?
Everybody else in
Unbelievable.
chat.
So yeah, he knew, Wesley. He knew that you got him. And of course, his drawing is dramatically out of scale. So let's have a little better drawing here. Right here we go. There's the Earth. Now the sun is too far away. You could never have it visible. So let me get here. I'm gonna get so putting it how he drew it also was intentionally deceiving. Yeah, these are the things that elementary school children understand. And that's why Flatsoid struggles with it so much. He's not as smart as an elementary school child. So my camera's not up right now. The reason why is I have something right here. Like I'm tapping, I have something right here that is in the way of where the view for the camera used to be. So I need to extend. I got a piece of wood sticking out there to holds up the camera. So I need to like extend it so that the camera can come down at an angle to see what I'm doing. Anyways, I'll do that sometime, but not this time. But, and I know you can't see yellow very well on here. So too bad. You can see it there, right? So there's the sunlight coming in very close to parallel, right? And now the moon I have to draw on out of scale, but I'll put it farther away so that we can see a little bit of it and get a little better idea of what it would be like. All right, there we go. There's the moon over there, and now I'll draw the sunlight come into the moon, and then I'll illuminate the portion of the moon that should be illuminated. Flatsoid, what a turd! He's not just dumb; he's dishonest, of course. So now. That might actually be a little bit off position there. Oh no, that is in the wrong spot where I put it. Well, let me fix that. I'll put it a little closer here. I didn't, if I would have drawn this ahead of time, that'd be better, but I was at ultimate practice coaching. There we go. There we go. This will be good. Okay. Here we go. There it is. So look at this one. This one here is in the wrong spot. So now we take and we put the observer. We'll put him here so that he has a good view to it. Right. Where was it? Right about there. Now, because it's out of scale, there's only so much you can do. But here we go. So here's the observer. Now, when that observer looks at the moon, that observer will not. They'll see the dark part of it, and it depends where they are, right? So if the moon was right here, they'd see right, or off this direction, way off here, they'd see 50% of it. So it depends where they are. And that's what Lubo was saying. Like, it depends where you are in relation to the moon. So, so he does it wrong on purpose. Yes, that's what he does. He does it wrong on purpose. Have I heard of the team Dragon Thrust? I have. I know somebody on the team. So, anyway. So it's completely possible to see a partially lit moon, right? When you draw the geometry better. This isn't a whole lot better because you can't draw it to scale very well on a piece of paper. So anyway, and so they're just, they're just intentionally not getting it. So Tim Davis says, my fourth child is named Ivy because we ran out of names and used Roman numerals. Ivy, because we ran out of names and used Roman numerals. But Ivy, why? What? But the IV, it should just be IV for 4. There's no why. What's the why? Where's the why? It should just be Iv. All right. Oh, I got a couple here. Mr. Jingle says Flatsoid is systematically destroying flat Earth. He is definitely making flat earthers look stupider. He is really good at that. That's one of his skills. MK Ultra is a member at Einstein. Thank you for that, MK. Manny Karen is a longtime supporter. We got Calder Vasold says, Toon, I made a Witsit song you'll like. Oh, well, that sounds cool. Is there a video? Because the video really is the selling point to getting it up on the show here. And even if you just take a bunch of clips that somewhat relate, at least it makes it something to look at while you're playing it. That's a good thing. iSolder74 says it's just a phase they are going through. Yes. And iSolder74, you know what I did? I soldered on Thursday. I soldered this little mini circuit board. So all of these solders along here I did. The problem is that now I need reading glasses to read, and these are for reading. They're not for soldering, and they're not really strong enough for soldering. So I was looking at it, and I'm like, I can't see it. So I actually borrowed. So they had like some stronger reading glasses at the place. So this was at the conference, and so anyway, this is a little circuit board here that's got a chip, CPU ESP32. Chip, if you know what that is, with the USB-C plug, and then this is this is a micro SD card reader that goes right on the board there. So it's a little hacking tool. So I haven't done circuit board soldering since I built the Ridge rectifier more than a year ago. So we've got Icy Spin says they take advantage of Lucas because he's a pushover. Yeah, Luca's a nice guy, and the reason why they let him on all the time is because they can shove him around, right? iSolder74 again says the person with more than one light source. Of course, I've got 4 light sources in this room. So yeah, it's all lit. But hold on. Got a light there, a light there. I have a light over here shining on the back of that door there that gives soft light to the room here, and I also have a light up there just pointing straight up. So there you go. There's the 4 light sources. Nomad Universe says, if you do that kind of thing all the time, I thoroughly recommend a jeweler's headset or something similar. I got a great one on eBay for my gem cutting for just $10. Yeah, if I did more soldering, I certainly would do that. I have two pairs of glasses that I wear depending on how much I need. So I have some, they're not strong enough for jeweler's glasses, but they're strong enough for soldering. I think they're 3. Which I need a 3. 3 solder is pretty good. They only had a 2, so I wore 2 pairs at the same time because that's super cool. What better way to look cool than wearing 2 pairs of glasses at the same time? Bill Garrett for $5 says, Globe, live feed from space station orbiting the actual planet, flat Earth, Microsoft Paint. Yes, that's exactly it. That's the best they have. Yadawat says, could you tell the tale of Flatsoid's name? I can. Let me catch up on these, and then I'll tell that tale. It's a good one. Tim Davidson says, my 4th child's named Ivy. Because I don't get it. There's no why. Tim Davidson again says, anyone else nervous when the other sex sees you naked for the first time? I'm afraid she'll scream and run out of the park. Oh my gosh. Solixus says, apparently I've been a member for 3 years. Awesome. Thank you for being a member for 3 years, 3 times around the sun. Evil Producer 1 says, if you're hungry, Mikey Smith has a new jam. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is so gross. So you're all going to get to see it. Get ready. Mikey Smith's, all right. Yep. All right, I need to, there you go. All right. Do your honey crawlers lack that extra little kick lately? Try Mikey Smith's Toe Jam, appropriately in Comic Sans. Mikey Smith's Toe Jam, made with real toes, is famous for its unique, sweet, yet pungent taste. The putrid and nutty flavor notes are reminiscent of an aged blue cheese, all without added dairy. Make sure to slather all the pussy goodness on your honey crawlers today. Honey crawlers is a registered trademark of Tim Hortons. Tim Horton does not endorse Mikey Smith's Toe Jam at all. Eat at your own risk. There you go. That's so nasty. So nasty. Thank you for ruining everyone's night. Evil Producer 1. We appreciate that. Brenda Creates says, Lord Illuminous Pooh has competition for dad jokes. Yes, Tim Davidson has, and Lord Illuminous Pooh are both competing against each other for silliest or worstest dad jokes. Tori Hanzo for 100 secs says, as always, thank you for bringing us entertainment. I'm glad I can provide for you. Lord Illuminous Pooh then says, I hear there's a challenge, misspelled here, Pooh. I accept, misspelled accept. There was a contortionist competition in my area. I entered myself and won because of it. I don't know what, and I entered myself. Oh, ew, that's not, no, that's so bad. That's so bad. Oh, no, wait, we're going to tell the story of Flatsoid. Okay. So, Flatsoid, as he was at the time, was invited to go to Antarctica along with 23 other flat earthers. This was announced in a video and was then, people were told the different participants, but also the ones who had their email address listed on their YouTube page received an email from Will Duffy and specifically saying you're invited to participate. One flat earther will be given a ticket to go, all expenses paid. Everyone else is invited to participate by either going and paying your own way, by having Will come onto their channel to talk about it, or by suggesting some way to increase the quality of the experiment. And Flatsoid was one of these people, but his email address was not listed on his YouTube channel. And Will had asked me to help him find the email addresses of the different people that he couldn't find on their channel. Some of them I was able to get, some I had their email address, but Flatsoid, I did not have his email address. I looked on his channel, it wasn't on his channel description. So he didn't receive an email, but he knew about it. He knew about the trip because he mentioned it in May last year. Right now, I spoke with, so I was doing something in Flatsoid. I had been on my Discord server after May, sometime maybe July, August, I'm not certain exactly when, talking about, well, why didn't he get invited? He never was invited. He didn't get a formal invitation. And on my Discord server, I just kept asking him, what is the definition of formal invitation? He would not answer. Of course, typical dishonest person. They don't want to answer because then they can get tied down. They can be held accountable for the words they say. And dishonest people don't want to do that because they know that they always need to squirm out. So within a day or two or a couple days of him doing this on my Discord server, I was doing a live stream and he demanded to be brought onto the live stream. And on that live stream, he was disputing that he received an invitation, a formal invitation. So I asked him, my memory of exactly what was spoken and then what happened after he disconnected is a little bit inconsistent, but I told him, you can't come on to Sea Lion. This isn't your time to do any sea lioning. If we're going to have a straight conversation, and if you start doing stupid tricks like you always do, then I'm going to kick you off. So he said, how come he didn't get a formal invitation? I said, what is a formal invitation? He wouldn't answer, so I kicked him off. He was sea lioning. So then he was in the live chat then, right? Like you guys are. And I said, do you mean an email? The reason why is because your email address isn't on your YouTube channel. And he said, yes, it is. So I pulled up his YouTube channel and looked at it, and there's no email address on there. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there, different ways to contact him, different URLs, but not his email address. And so what he did, while I had it up on the screen, he went to his YouTube channel, modified the description to put his email address in and remove all of the other things that were on there except for his Bitcoin address. So now the new page is the new about your channel is his Bitcoin address and his email address, but he misspelled his email address in his haste to type in his email address, which is just, I didn't know, but it's flatsoid@gmail.com. With the L and the K on the keyboard are right next to each other. So he didn't write Flatsoid, he wrote Fakatzoid, F-K-A-T-Z-O-I-D, @gmail.com. And somebody got a screenshot of that intermediate and said something. And so he was listening. Oh, he misspelled Flatsoid as Fakatzoid. So he still didn't have the right email address on. So then he fixed it and had it just be Flatsoid. But we got a screenshot of Fakatzoid. So let's get that. Let's get the and so then what happened is he started lying about it. He claimed that I edited somehow, I don't know how, live during my live stream, the live HTML, because if you can go to the developer tools and you can edit the HTML. It was on screen. I don't know how I was supposed to have done that live while I was while I was doing it, but so he thinks. Anyway, so where is I got screenshots of it. Well, where is it? I have a folder and I'm not seeing it in the folder. Email, misogyny, different folders I have. Not understanding celestial navigation. Oh my gosh. Well, no, I don't have it. I don't have it handy. Sorry. So who grabbed it? It was oh my goodness, I forgot the name of the person that grabbed the screenshot. And of course, I don't even have where did I put the screenshot? I have it somewhere. I do try to organize everything, and sometimes like, where do you organize it? Well, it's about Flatsoid. It should be in the Flatsoid folder, but apparently I missed it being in the Flatsoid folder. Anyway, let's see. Peter Markley says, by the way, I can attest to that. In May 2024, I looked for a way to contact him, including in his YouTube description. I found no email address, but instead found his Discord server. There you go. So now Will, I knew how to contact Flatsoid on Discord, but Will isn't on Discord. So he couldn't contact him on Discord. And I had asked Will, Will's like, well, no, I just want to email them. So, of the 24 people, the point wasn't to get all 24 people to go to Antarctica. The point was picking 24 people to hopefully have a large enough selection of them, which of course worked out in the end just fine. So, you're right, evil producer. Let me check. Oh my gosh. Oh, here's, I've got a few things here. Here you go. Here's Flatsoid. Can any of you guys solve for alpha in terms of D and H? So alpha in terms of D and H, right? Alpha measures an angle of 45 degrees, says Flatsoid. Well, that's clearly not 45 degrees, and it's not expressed in terms of D and H. And then he says, Flatsoid, and I quote, "You really idiot. Hey, stop wasting our time." The irony. Oh, that you can't even see that. Just a second. There you go. You really idiot. But yeah, Peter Markley, it's so SOHCAHTOA, TOA, tangent is opposite over adjacent. Opposite is H, adjacent is D. So tangent of H over D equals is the relationship you're looking for, but you're trying to solve for the angle, so it's going to be arctan of H over D. So there it is. That's the answer. But Flatsoid says it's 45 degrees when it's clearly not 45 degrees. You don't need a protractor or an angleometer up on the screen to see that. It's not 45 degrees. So anyway, but you could count the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. D is 11 dots, 11 gaps. And then H is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have 7 to 11. And so you can tell that can't be 45 degrees. So it'd have to be the same number in order for it to be 45 degrees. That's how dumb Flatsoid is. That's how incredibly stupid he is. And then for him to say that somebody is an idiot, completely mangling English in the process, this is top Dunning-Kruger. That's why he's such a perfect candidate for top left. This right here embodies the idiocy of Flatsoid. So anyway, well done, Wazinski, for showing that, for challenging him on that. It's so very bad. Anyway, let's pop the stack. Back to Flatsoid. A screenshot was captured of him with the wrong email address, and then he corrected it, got his correct email address. Then he lied and claimed that somebody had edited live to show the wrong thing. It was all him. He doubles down on lies, triples down on lies. He goes to a lie. He never gives up the lie. That's his thing. So anyway, there's the story of Flatsoid. So back to, oh my goodness, it's chewing up memory today. I have tried, I've tried just, if you just saw that go blank for a second, Chrome chews up memory here. And so all my Chrome instances that are on studio.youtube.com crap out at the same time. So I don't know. I've disabled some extensions to try to fix it, but I don't know why. I haven't been able to address it. So Mouse says there's very little mention of Flatsoid or even Flat Earth in his channel name and description now. Do you think he's hiding from Flat Earth now? Well, so a couple months ago, back in February, Flatsoid said some pretty horrible things about Lisbeth, one of the Flat Earthers that went on the trip with us to Antarctica. Let's see. And after that, everybody was appropriately angered at him. And so then he tried to change everything. Let me show you a little bit of what he said.
We all know why Elizabeth went with on the group. Yeah.
Yeah, we get it.
Skiing.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Have you ever heard of the saying before, village bicycle?
Yeah, Toon bike.
Yep.
Where I'm from, it's the Toon bike.
Local pusher.
That's why. He said that. About Lisbeth. He said this.
Would you say she could have been a comforter through all this kind of deal? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, he went with that instead of saying, I can't believe you would suggest something like that. Get off my panel immediately and never come back, which would be a good response. He said this.
That group that went needed a certain somebody for entertainment. You don't like it, that's your problem.
Don't like it, that's your problem. No, I don't like your accusation. It's your problem that you're lying about it, Flatsoid. But no, he doesn't care about being truthful. He never has. That's his thing, is lying a lot. Anyway, so there we go. There's the issues. Let's get a little more of his of their misunderstandings here.
One side, yes. The other side isn't.
Now
Look at it from the side, Flats. Look at it from the side. Your side. Is the whole face lit up, looking at you?
Yes.
The whole face is looking at you, looking from the side.
The whole thing is lit up.
You can
The
see
whole
the back
face
half.
is lit up.
You can see
The whole face is lit up.
You can
The
see
whole
the
face
back
is lit
half.
up.
You can see the back half.
I'll actually take a photo for you. How's that?
Is it?
Oh,
How do we get Terminator lines then?
please? Please.
I don't know what he's doing.
Let me put the...
All right, come on, Flatsoid.
To the computer. It's so sad. You guys want to call us the stupid ones, but you don't
Yeah,
understand.
you are.
Yeah, Wesley, you nailed it. He is so stupid.
You are. You didn't even think that the moon had a Terminator line.
I literally got demonstrations showing you wrong.
You thought the moon didn't have a Terminator line.
It doesn't, because it's not a physical object.
Well, then you don't understand the globe model.
I don't care about the globe.
Well,
I'm not talking.
We care about reality, not the globe model.
If you want to debunk the globe
Okay,
model,
there we go.
then
Understand it.
you've
There we
gotta
go. That's
know.
the photo.
Yeah, you see how the back half isn't lit up?
It's literally lit up. I can see it.
Well, it's oh my gosh. Dude,
You do know light wraps around. Does light wrap around?
Is it the same?
Light does not wrap around if it reflects. The reason why the back end of that, of course, is lit up is because he's in a room that has surfaces that bounce light. Right? I don't know if he only has one light source in that room or not, but he certainly has walls that are not perfectly absorbing the light. So that's why you can see the back end. But you can see that there is a Terminator line. And he can't. And this is a problem that's not limited to just Flatsoid. There are flat earthers that will there's a guy, David Rogers, on Facebook that shows a picture of an Earth, a globe that's like 15 feet in diameter somewhere at a park or an art exhibit or something, and says, how come the back end of it is lit up? It shouldn't be lit up if the Earth is in space. Like not understanding that there are other light sources and other ways that light can get around to it. That's how dumb these people are. Seriously.
Same brightness as the front to the back?
Obviously not. The light still wraps around.
Okay, good. So it's darker in the back, right? Right?
Yes, but I can still see it. And look at the line. Look at the line. Is the whole face?
Look at your finger. You
Lit
can't
up.
see your pointer finger in
Is
that.
the whole? My flipping fingers behind the ball, you moron.
So it's
is
dark,
the
right?
whole-
Right, class? So it's dark.
Where's he?
No.
Where's he?
Why would
Where's
you say
he?
that? Why did you say that?
Is the whole face of the ball lit up or not?
No.
What?
You said you couldn't see
guys on the
it.
panel, is the whole face of the ball lit up or not?
Luca, is it lit up in the back? Yeah.
No.
Good. I just want to come on to just show how just completely misunderstanding of the ball, or you're just lying to save face.
You can.
Which is it?
You can see that from your point of view, the camera's point of view. You can see that one half is lighter than the other half, right?
No, he won't. He won't admit it. It would destroy his worldview.
Let's
All right.
get it up again.
Shut up.
All right. Yeah, the moon's not physical, I think.
Don't you understand?
That's really what you believe, isn't it? That's unbelievable that you can say that.
You believe every photo from space is fake and video from space.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, because it friggin' is.
They believe it's fake because it is.
No clue.
It is fake. It is fake. 100%.
You have no clue as you see that.
Loads of proof. Loads.
Let's see if I can explain this to you even in a more
I'm not going to talk to you. You're not worth talking to, bro. I don't like your attitude. You're an asshole.
Yeah.
Let me try.
You really are an asshole.
You don't even.
So Wesley is way smarter than these guys. And what do they say to him? Of course.
Know what a Terminator line is.
The problem is,
I know what a
Luca,
freaking Terminator line is. You're just an asshole.
Yeah.
the problem
I don't want to
is,
believe in your heliocentric shit.
Helio.
the problem is with
So you think that it's not my accent now? Is that what it is?
the problem with
Wow.
the problem.
So how do we know that the moon is physical? This is how we know the moon is physical. These are real photographs of the moon over the course of time where it is doing what's called libration. And you can see it gets larger and smaller. This is what happens to three-dimensional objects as they vary in distance from you. These are all taken during full moons, by the way. And you can see that it's wobbling back and forth. So the face of the moon does point towards the Earth, but it's not perfect. So at different times in its orbit, the amount of it that we see, or the portion of that we see, varies a little bit. So we don't see 50% of the moon. Over time, we see around 58%, I think is the number. And this is these are real photographs of it. So if this isn't physical, then what is this? Right? They like to say it's plasma, but plasma doesn't stay the same over time like this. Right? The sun is plasma, and there are features on the sun that vary over time. But if the moon is plasma, then why is it staying consistent? It doesn't make any sense. Not at all. They don't understand simple things like this. And let's see here. I have just a second. I have a different one that, yeah, here. Here is photographs of the moon showing, I think these are photographs and not, well, I'm not certain of this, of the source of this. Is that, but this is just showing the variation in angular size of the moon over time. So we've got one, this is showing the size in October of 2007 and April of 2007, how they vary in size. So apogee and perigee. So there you go. All right. Now, what about gravity and physics and flight? This is, they never understand. Oh, they never do.
Wow, really? That's why I literally studied art and got a damn, how can I put it this way? I got 3 distinctions while studying art.
What degree?
So studying art has nothing to do with physics. It doesn't apply.
98%.
What degree?
What do you mean, what degree?
Oh my gosh. He's trying to avoid answering the question about what his degree is. I literally studied art, 98%. What degree? And he doesn't understand. Of course he knows what is meant by what degree.
Level of education. You don't know what a degree is? Seriously? You went to university.
What degree do you want?
What degree do you have?
The highest degree I could get for art.
Which is? Yeah,
Art.
silence. Silence.
No, what degree do you want? You don't study 7 years for art.
Bachelor's of art? Bachelor's of science?
No. Now to go to university.
Oh, you went to art school.
So you're telling me a labourer is inferior to an entrepreneur? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
He's
Remember,
an idiot. He's an idiot.
Remember, Wes doesn't know science he doesn't even know how a light works on an object with literal demonstration. So Wesley, you want to test on science and physics?
I don't want to test on Oakley science.
What's the difference between acceleration?
Oh, Flatsoid. I will test on science with you. That's a great idea, Flatsoid. Here's what we will do. We will both take the exact same physics test, right? We both put, how much do you want? $5,000? Maybe $1,000. You crowdfund as much as you can. Come to me, and I'll match whatever you can crowdfund. I'll match. Okay. Then we both put that money into escrow. Somebody else holds it. Somebody that we both agree upon will hold it. Then we both take the same physics test. What should we do? Well, neither of us are from England or the UK. So this will be a good neutral ground. We both take the same GCSE physics test. Whoever gets highest gets everything, right? So if you can crowdfund $1,000, I'll put in $1,000, and then whoever gets the highest score gets the full amount. Maybe you can get $5,000, right? Maybe your viewers will think that you've got what it takes to beat me in a physics test. You know what, though? I will even give you this. How about we find a university level, like 100 level, like entry level, first year of university physics test from South Africa. And we both take that test, right? Your advantage, winner take all. How about that? That would be fantastic. I'm in, Flatsoid. Do you have what it takes? You don't get to go around bragging about who's got who got 98% in an art class in university, or bragging about who knows physics good. If you won't step up, right?
And velocity.
You're asking me?
Yes.
Hold on,
You're asking
between acceleration and...
I don't want to test on Oakley science.
What's the difference between acceleration and velocity?
What's the difference between acceleration and velocity? Okay. Will he get this right? So acceleration is a variation in velocity over time, right? Velocity is measured as a certain amount of distance per time. Meters per second, for example. And acceleration is a change in velocity, and it's measured in meters per second squared. That's the units, or dv/dt, change in velocity with respect to time. Now, what is he going to say? This is going to be interesting.
You're asking me?
Yes.
Acceleration is velocity. The integral or no, it's the derivative of velocity.
No,
it's not.
No. What's a derivative?
You don't know what a derivative is?
I'm asking you, what is a derivative?
So acceleration is is distance per time squared. Velocity is distance per time.
Okay, that's better, but it's not a derivative. Okay.
Oh my gosh. You think you're so smart, Flatsoid? You're an idiot. Oh my gosh, it's so top left.
That's what calculus is, Flats. That's how you go from acceleration.
Velocity is not calculus. You use velocity in calculus. Velocity itself is not calculus.
Oh my gosh, you got that backwards. Oh my gosh. You use velocity in calculus. No, sorry. You use calculus in physics. He's got it backwards. Pure calculus doesn't have doesn't have velocity, right? Of course, while teaching it, you often will include that. Wow, so dumb.
Yeah, but to get from velocity to
So there we go. Okay, so let's move over to more. Do you require force for things to accelerate?
Yes.
Okay, is your gravity a force?
Yes.
No, it's not. Hasn't been seen as a force for 110 years thanks to Einstein and general relativity.
Oh, of course. Not correct that at all. From outside of our reference frame, gravity is something other than a force. But within a reference frame, it exhibits itself as a force. That's what happens in a reference frame. So yes, it is in a reference frame, and of course, let me pull it up here. Einstein's field equations resolve to Newton's Newton's what do they call the Newtonian limit. Anyway, there it is. So here is my website mctoon.net/Einstein. So exactly straight to their claim. Here is Einstein's field equations reduced to Newton's gravity, Newtonian gravity. These 4 citations right here show how they happen within our reference frame. So if you take Einstein's field equations and then you solve for a reference frame where the velocity is low and you're not near a massive gravitational field, then within that reference frame, it causes a force. So there it is. And flat earthers don't understand this topic at all. All they know is how to parrot what somebody else told them. And so they like to say, do you mean Einsteinian gravity or Newtonian gravity? And the answer is both. Depends on how precise you need to be. Depends on how fast things are moving in relation to each other. Depends on how close you are to a massive gravitational well. But if you're not that close to a gravitational well and you're not moving that fast in relation to each other, then Newtonian is just fine for our computations. But if you need 16 digits of precision, then you may go ahead at your leisure and apply Einstein's field equations if you need that. So, Wesley, yes. Oh yeah. I think I do have that, Wesley. So.
Gravitation. It is a force. It's apparent.
Not a force. Gravity is not a force. You just lost physics. Well done.
Law of gravitation.
Luca, stay out of this. This can hold his own.
Hey, Luca, just be quiet for a couple minutes because Flats thinks he's smarter than me at science.
I'm much smarter than you.
And well,
oh my gosh, Flatsoid, you are so not smart.
Wesley, I would
not.
Congratulate. Hey, Wesley,
wait, no. Hold on. Be quiet. Be quiet.
No, I want to congratulate you.
I'd like to congratulate you on your blooming arrogance.
Okay,
no, Wesley.
So is.
The mainstream world.
Flats, you said I was smarter than you.
Turned away from gravity as a force, but you're kind of.
Flats, you just admitted I was smarter than you.
No, I didn't. That shows you guy doesn't even know how to listen. I told you you're as dumb as fuck. Okay, so now tell me again.
So you're
how is
smarter than me at
gravity a
science.
force? How is gravity a force if Einsteinian general relativity literally says it's not?
Actually, the opposite is the case.
When you're traveling at relativistic speeds, it's time and space.
Relative to what?
To each other. To its.
Flatsoid just claimed that he was smarter, but doesn't understand when Wesley said relativistic speeds. He didn't know what that is. Right? He doesn't know this topic. The term relativistic speed is commonly used when talking about the theory of relativity, right? Einstein's field equations. But he doesn't know that because he's completely ignorant of it.
It's velocity.
No, relativity requires a reference of something. Relative to what?
Relativistic speeds. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say relative?
Relative to what reference?
No. No, he's got it backwards.
Stationary.
Okay, so then it is not a force.
No.
Wait, you're talking about relativity and then you went back to gravity and force. Stay on one
We're
topic.
talking about gravity. General relativity is gravity.
No, it's not. It's bigger than that. Oh my gosh.
General relativity is gravity. Okay, there you guys heard
Holy
it all.
cow.
But it's not considered a force.
Do you
But it's
think
not considered a force, Wes.
it is? It's an
No,
apparent
it's not.
General relativity is not considered a force, Wes. It superseded
General
Newtonian gravity
relativity is
110
not-
years ago.
You just said general relativity is not considered a force.
It's not.
Because he doesn't know, right? Flatsoid just, and maybe Wesley, maybe because he said a lot of dumb stuff, so it's hard to keep up with the amount of dumb that Flatsoid said here. But Flatsoid just said general relativity is gravity, something along those lines, right? That's what he thinks it is. It's just about gravity. That's what he, and so when he just substitutes in general relativity for gravity. That's what he was doing.
It's not.
Yes, I agree. General relativity is not a force.
Which is gravity, Wes.
No, it's not.
You can't keep saying that it's not a force and then saying it.
It's not a
All right, let's hear him say it again.
force.
Which is gravity.
I consider a force.
It's
It's
not.
not.
Yes, I agree. General relativity is not a force.
Which is gravity.
Again, Flatsoid just equated general relativity with gravity.
Wes.
No, it's not.
You can't keep saying that it's not a force and then saying it is a force. You can't do that, dude.
General relativity isn't gravity. How do you guys not
Oh,
get
really?
this?
You just said it is.
Okay.
General, no, I didn't.
Flatsoid said it is.
Yeah, you did.
Flatsoid, do you think you're smarter than me at physics?
Much smarter than you.
Oh my gosh. So much Dunning-Kruger.
Okay.
You're not.
How come you don't know what? How come you don't know calculus then?
There we go. General relativity developed by Albert Einstein. Fundamentally defines gravity
Redefines gravity.
as a geometric property of space-time rather than a force.
Right.
Okay.
So general relativity is not gravity.
Literally says redefines gravity
Yes, it redefines.
as a geometric property of space-time rather than a force. So is general relativity talking about gravity
Is
or
it
not?
talking about or is it? Which
Is
these-
gravity.
No,
It
it's not.
redefines. What does redefine mean?
Oh my
It's how
gosh.
time
No, because
All right, what I want to do that general relativity gravity. Let's look what that comes up with. So let's see if the answer I get here. General. So here's the AI answer, which is what it's reading. General relativity explains gravity as a curvature of space-time caused by mass and energy. Instead of a force pulling objects together, gravity arises from objects following the straightest possible paths within the curved space-time. This curvature is what we perceive as gravitational pull. Now, he didn't read lower. Now, this, of course, because it's an AI overview, it's different. AI tends to have it's not the same every time you query it, unless you set the parameters to certain values, set the temperature to 1, which this AI overview here won't have the temperature set to 1. Anyway, so I doubt he's going to read that. But that was the end of that. So dumb. That particular thing. So let's see. Here's the more detailed description, and then space-time, which is what I get here. Space-time. General relativity treats space and time as a single interwoven fabric called space-time. Massive objects warp or curve this space-time around them. Objects move along the curves created by the space-time, and these curves are what we experience as the force of gravity. Now, he would never read that, right? Would he? No. PTOon says, more specifically, general relativity talks about gravitation. Gravity is a Newtonian concept. So, all right. Will he be calling you? Let me check here. Don't think. Yeah, I don't know if he gets to calling you Wesley the Dunning-Kruger, but he certainly thinks that he's smarter than you. All right, here we go.
No, you've already made that point how dumb you are when you don't know what a Terminator line is.
I said there is no terminator line because I don't believe in the moon as a solid object. So,
It doesn't. I don't.
So, and this is something that flat earthers really often love to do. They will enter in saying this is the Earth, this is the globe model, and the globe model is false because, and then they get it all wrong, right? And then you say, well, no, you need to first get the globe model right. So put the Terminator line in the right spot. And instead of saying, okay, I'm going to continue to explore and test the globe model, they shift. They say, I don't believe in the globe model, and so I won't do that. I think it's something else. But the reason why you're in that conversation is because they're talking about the globe and they're misapplying the globe. And they know, because they've been burned before, that when you actually do properly apply the claims of the globe, everything matches every single time. So that's just another and this is just another instance of that.
I don't care what you believe. Nobody cares.
Thermodynamic systems.
Hey, when you Google that, will you Google what the second law has to say about Earth?
I already know what the second law says.
He does not know what the second law says.
No,
Literally, I have to reach you. Okay, there we go. Can you see this on screen?
Yeah. Do you agree that this is a good source?
It's the same source as anything.
Okay, now this is a good tactic there, Wesley, because there's no sources that are gonna actually agree with him with any flat earther when you start looking at them. That's why the first law of Flerf is never wrong. Every single one of these citations, if you look at them, will contradict his position. And so, Wesley, good job asking him to commit to that to those sources. Now, probably he will not acknowledge that they're acceptable sources. Let's see what he does.
I can bring up MIT if you want.
Yeah, and then ask them what the shape of the Earth is, please.
I don't care what they say about the shape. We're talking about thermodynamics. So, isolated system.
Hypocrite.
That's supposed to be the universe. Can you tell me what, based on this description?
You're indoctrinated.
Where's, why don't you just own up to being dumb?
You're a hypocrite.
Okay, so where's on screen, let's see if you can actually read. On screen, what does the isolated system say?
Go ahead, read it. I want to see if you can read.
I'm asking you if you can.
It doesn't say anything. I don't know what he's talking about.
But I want to see if you can read.
I literally told you it out before even bringing it up. So I'm asking you now.
I want to see if you can read and just not.
What does isolated system say? Yeah, you maybe don't understand the description.
There's no exchange of energy and no exchange.
Yeah, this guy can't shut up. This Derek guy can't shut up, can he?
Huh?
Even though you asked him to.
Derek's hardly spoke, bro. He's hardly spoke.
Oh, he's interrupted me at least 5 times.
And you interrupt everybody every time.
No, I'm talking flip
Yes, you do.
Wes, you don't shut up, Wes.
Stop being triggered, PJ. It's okay.
Open your tabs up, guys.
You really do trigger me, bro. You really do trigger me because you're an ass.
So, Flatsoid, Google what MIT.
I don't need to Google anything. I'm asking you on screen now. On screen, I literally brought it up for you.
Yeah, you Googled it.
I don't need to Google it because I damn know this out of my head. Now I'm asking you again.
No, you think that it means that space can't exist.
What does the isolated system say, Anya?
I'm asking if you can read. Go ahead.
What does the isolated system say? I want to see if you can read very, very simple diagrams. What does the isolated system say, Anya?
You can't read that?
What does the isolated system say, Anya, Wes?
I'm not going to read it for you. If you can't read it,
because you don't know. You've just proven you can't read a diagram.
I do.
Well, what does it say?
You can't read that?
I said it before I even brought it up for you. That's how dumb you are. You don't even know. So again, what does it say on screen?
I can agree with this system here. What does that say? Which one of these is the Earth?
None of them.
None of them?
None. All 3 of these. So then how does entropy apply?
So the Earth has to be one of them. Every system is represented as one of those.
Because this is just a system. I'm asking you.
So which Earth? Which system is the Earth?
Here?
Which system is the Earth?
Closed.
Nope.
Okay.
So I'm asking again.
Open. Just so you know, the Earth is an open system. There's an exchange of energy and matter. Matter comes in the form of obvious things like meteorites, and matter escapes the Earth in the form of, well, rockets, but more naturally in the form of gas particles escaping, often hydrogen and helium, out of the atmosphere. And then energy comes in and out in the form of sunlight, and then of course we radiate heat out. So it's an open system.
That's actually false.
No, Earth is definitely closed because we have gas pressure.
Hey, Flats, then where do meteorites come from?
There's no such thing as meteorites. Now go on.
Show me a
I want you to please. I want you.
And again, back to what I just said, they refuse to talk about the claims of the globe, and they'll take their own claims to reject the globe model's actual claims without exploring the actual globe model. So they can't be honest about that.
You to please.
You haven't seen a meteorite? You've never seen a meteorite?
I've never seen one proven as.
I'm not talking to you, dude. For the seventh.
Okay, Wiz, have you noticed you still haven't answered me? I've asked you to read out on screen what isolated system says there based on this diagram.
Isolated, no exchange.
Of what?
I'm not reading it for you.
So Wesley, you just when these things happen, just go right to it, because there's no, remember, every single actual citation is a gotcha for flat Earth, right? So when they put it up, just read it right away.
For you,
and the answer is an isolated system has no exchange of energy or matter, and there is only one such isolated system. That's the entire universe. Because even if you put it in the most, you put something inside the most aggressively, sealed container, there's still an exchange of heat, and for that part, a tiny bit of matter too. But it's definitely energy. So a closed system, it would be like a thermos, where there's no exchange of matter, but there is a small exchange of energy, right? You try to minimize that, but you can't have exactly zero.
This is not.
So you can't read the diagram.
Yeah, I just said no transfer.
Okay, right. Transfer of what?
Of either of the items listed there.
What is the items listed there?
I'm not going to read this. This is not.
What is the items listed there, Wiz?
No.
So you too dumb you can't read. Okay.
No,
guys, we just showed Wiz is just Dunning-Kruger and he has no idea what
you don't even know what that means. You keep saying you're Dunning-Kruger.
What's energy?
You know what that means.
Oh, you know what Dunning-Kruger is?
Yeah, what is Dunning-Kruger?
You have a very...
So everybody remember, Flatsoid is the current reigning champion of Top Left. The winner of the Dunning-Kruger Award for 2025. That's Flatsoid. That's who he is speaking to.
Are you finished?
Yeah, I stopped talking.
Okay. You're Dunning-Kruger because you're overconfident in your own stupidity.
You think that's what Dunning-Kruger means?
That's literally what Dunning-Kruger means.
No.
Yes.
Have you ever seen the Dunning-Kruger?
Must I bring the definition up for you?
Yeah.
He said overconfident in what did he say?
Yes. You're Dunning-Kruger because you're overconfident in your own stupidity.
Overconfident in your own stupidity. Now, it's kind of in the ballpark of it, but
you think that's what Dunning-Kruger means?
Not quite.
That's literally what Dunning-Kruger means.
No.
Yes.
Have you ever seen the Dunning-Kruger?
Must I bring the definition up for you?
Yes. Bring up what Dunning.
Wait, we'll do that now. But I first want you to read this diagram out for everyone. Then I'll do it.
I'm not going to do what you say.
Read it.
Okay. If I do this, will you Google what shape the Earth is?
I don't need to because I know what's the shape of the Earth.
Okay, so you won't do it. I'm not doing it. It's easy.
Oh,
I
you
can play the
Googled
same
the
game
shape of the Earth, therefore you know.
He just Googled what closed system is. Why do you trust that?
No, I didn't Google it. I gave it up for you so you can see what it is. Okay, so read what's on screen quickly, Wes.
Do you see what it says? The Dunning-Kruger effect. Why don't you just look up what Dunning-Kruger
Read
is?
it. Read it.
No, it says the Dunning-Kruger effect. I want to know what the...
And that's the end of that clip. Let's see. that got kind of dumb. I just gotta say. Let me see. I got a couple people that were saying something. Somebody's saying Nomad Universe says he's here in chat. No, that's probably a fake Flatsoid. That's my guess right there. Let's go to channel. And yeah. Here's the channel. There you go. You can all go there. That's not the real one. Because his channel now isn't called Flatsoid. It's now called Creality Jesus Saves, which is a ridiculous name. So, all right. Is this? It's about to. It's getting slow. When the this gets a little slow, then sometimes it's about to memory crash. So we'll see. iSider74 says dentist glasses. I mean, Facat's trying to say it doesn't work. I meant Flat's trying to say it doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, dentist glasses would be good with the little magnifying glass thing on the bottom of it. That'd be cool. Lord Illuminous Pooh says xenophobia. Ironically, the fear of aliens, not the fear of capital aliens, like the movie. Interesting. Jack Fetter says, I worry I have hit max derp. I just can't watch Facatsoid and his gaggle of Middle Earth rejects anymore. My brain gets fuzzy when I try. Yeah, it's difficult. I don't like. I'm with you. He is so arrogantly stupid that it's hard to watch. It really is. So I try to. I'm with you. I can only do so much. But this was good. It gets better because there gets to be more of a fight later between Sav and Bev show up. And there, oh my gosh. That's nuts. iSounder74 says now he's parroting QE. Yeah, so Quantum Eraser dramatically doesn't understand science, doesn't understand thermodynamics, doesn't understand the end. Exposing Ma's tricks says, it may all be Rolling Stones, but time is on my side. Thank you very much, Exposing Ma's tricks. I hope you're doing well. If you're unaware, Exposing Ma's tricks is a flat earther, lives in Seattle, and always glad to see him. So, but he says some silly things sometimes. We let him get away saying silly things and don't give him too much of a hard time. So, oh, here we got Facatsoid's fallacies. Would the real Facatsoid please stand up? Basil Problem says, MCToon, can you acknowledge modern day debate is a Christian nationalist platform? Please do not support them. So I have not seen anything that I found to be Christian nationalism out of the channel, the platform. In my speaking with James, the owner of the channel, I have not gotten any thoughts or ideas that he is a Christian nationalist. So I don't see where you get that from. James actually, like, to a fault, tries to be neutral, and even like when he has moderators come on, he gives them instructions about what they should not have like in their background behind them that may show some leaning in some particular direction. So Basil Problem, I don't know. I mean, maybe you can send some specific examples of James or the channel supporting that, but for the most part, he hosts debates, and so I don't know how you can. Are the debate topics neutral? No, the topics are both sides. I don't know how choosing a topic is anything, right? So a lot of the topics are on religion. And I've asked, so he's doing he does these debate cons, and he's doing another one in September in Tennessee. And I messaged him. I said, hey, I'd love to come. I'd like to participate in a debate. And he doesn't. He has told me that he doesn't really want to do in-person flat Earth debates. They're not super good in person. I said that's fine. How about 5G or moon landing? Or I gave him a couple other examples of things I would do. He said his answer was he's leaning away from the science topics for in-person debates and even in general. And he doesn't want to do political ones in person either. So he basically, and maybe this is to your point, Basil problem. He is focusing mostly, especially in person, on the religion debates, which I don't watch. I'm not super into those debates. So I don't know why you'd think it. I don't know. Is 5G still a debate? There are still 5G nutters that think that it is doing all sorts of things. Still today. In fact, I was working on a script today for a video that 2 weeks ago I wanted to put out, but I recorded it off the cuff, and I have it. It's sitting there. It's sitting on my hard drive right there, and I didn't like it. So I transcribed the whole thing, put it in. It's in my Google Docs right now. I've got maybe 90% done. So, Davids, he is heavily into the alpha male crap. Well, yeah, okay. The thing I'll say about James is a goofy guy. He's weird. And that does come through a bit. But when he hosts a debate, he does try to have the debate to the most part. But nobody's 100% neutral. But he does try to be neutral in his application on the debate. So I don't know. So I don't have a problem going on a platform with somebody that I don't agree with. That's the thing, right? I will go on a channel that is a flat earther owned channel if they can, especially if they can moderate somewhat well. And I have gone on places where they are not even good moderators. I've gone on pro globe people debate shows where I completely disagree with their specific opinion on stuff, on whatever stuff, because that's not what I'm there for. I'm there to engage in a debate, and who's hosting it is secondary. But I will say, Basil problem and everybody, there are places where I wouldn't go. So if there was somebody that was definitely a big supporter of the mustache man, is like, hey, I'd like to host a debate, I'd say, no, I don't think you're the one to host that debate, right? So there is a line, right? But I will go beyond where I agree as the platform. So I don't see a problem with that. So anyway, let's get back to, I've got 20 clips total. That was number 5. Now, okay. This one comes in later. I was going to jump ahead to where Sav and Bev are in, but I think this one comes in later.
I'm not asking you about what cancer is. I'm saying, why do you trust that your computer isn't giving you cancer right now?
Well,
have you tested if it's giving you cancer?
Have you tested if it's giving you cancer? How do you test that, Flatsoid?
Right.
Have you tested that it gives you cancer?
Nope, he hasn't.
So then how can you make a premise that it doesn't give you cancer?
That's what I'm saying. Why do you use a computer if it might give you cancer?
How are you coming to the conclusion it gives you cancer if you haven't tested if it does give you cancer or not?
Oh my gosh, he just won't. He's intentionally misunderstanding what Wesley said.
Exactly my point.
That's not science, Wes.
That's exactly my point. Why do you trust
you making a claim the computer can give you
No, I didn't. When did I make that claim? When did I give you that
You
claim?
just said, why are you guys using a computer if it can give you cancer?
I didn't say that at all. You can't listen to my
Derek,
words.
was that your argument or was that Wes's argument?
No, I said, why do you trust that the computer isn't giving you...
Wes, are you so retarded you don't even know your own words coming out your mouth?
You can't hear what I'm saying?
I literally kept quiet and listened to that retarded statement.
Okay, I'm saying, why do you trust that your computer...
So I got on screen a video for you, okay? Wes, I would love it if you can actually sit and listen and learn why your Earth cannot be an open system, okay?
Keith.
Why it cannot be an open system. Oh, let's hear this.
So I want you to pay attention now.
If you're deflecting, I'm out. If you're deflecting,
no deflecting. This is teaching you that your Earth cannot be an open system. So please pay attention. There we go.
No, I'm out. I showed your hypocrisy. You don't know
what hypocrisy. You haven't shown anything other than being dumb.
Yeah, your sources. Your sources. You trust sources up until they say what you don't like to hear.
I 100% agree with MIT. 100% agree with all physics when it.
Oh no, you don't. MIT says the Earth is a globe.
Comes to thermodynamics and natural law.
So none of them.
I do not agree. I do not agree with pseudoscientific belief systems.
Natural law.
Hold on a second.
I do not agree. I do not agree with. Can you shut up? I do not agree with pseudoscientific belief systems that go against the natural law. Hence your gravity. PhD Tony sucks. Yes, I've had him on. He doesn't even know half the things he's talking. He's also one of those guys that, how can I say, uses his PhD to be so smart, yet he's not as smart as he claims to be.
Oh my gosh. Flatsoid, do you think you're smarter than PhD Tony? I bet you think you are.
So again, listen, and PhD Tony has nothing to do with this discussion. So I want you to listen to what I got on screen, Wes.
Listen to me.
And then you can rebut it, because this is the subject.
Then I'm out because you're hypocrisy. I can't stand.
There's no hypocrisy. The only hypocrite here is you running away, coward.
No, then, here's the question.
Listen, there we go.
The pressurized atmosphere is kept there by gravity, as I said multiple times. So.
I'm Emerald Robinson, and in this What Is video, we're going to investigate the state of matter called...
What's this voice? Holy cow. PhD Tony says, I've never been on his show. I've never spoken to him. No surprise that he gets that wrong, Tony.
A gas. Gases are materials that have no definite volume and no specific shape.
Your whole idea of, Mark has no answer. I do have an answer. Sphere is kept there by gravity.
Third, gases can flow from one area to another, although the direction of flow is not directly affected by gravity.
Sphere is kept there by gravity.
Not directly affected by gravity. So here, this is a common theme amongst flat earthers. They will find somebody that's talking at a non-technical level, right? Somebody that's a science communicator that's targeting an audience that's, maybe, not university level, and they'll treat it as the absolute definitive everything that there is to say on that topic. This is because, of course, they don't understand the actual detailed stuff, right? So if you're going to talk about gases and thermodynamics and relativity and all these things, well, you need to spend a good amount of time in some pretty good depth to get an understanding of it. But Flatsoid doesn't understand enough to even, well, let me show you how much Flatsoid doesn't even understand. He doesn't understand that angle is not 45 degrees. That's how dumb Flatsoid is, right? So there's no way that he's going to understand relativity. He's never going to understand the nuances of how gravity interacts with gas and things like that. So, and he will just treat things like this as if it's the absolute, all there is to say about the topic.
Although the direction of flow is not directly affected by gravity.
Gravity.
Although the direction of flow is not directly affected by gravity.
So if the Earth had a container, as you claimed, you made a claim there that the Earth has a container over it. What ought to happen, according to the second laws of thermodynamics, is that the air should equalize to become the same pressure, like in an aeroplane or like in any other container.
Molecules in a gas collide with one another and move more quickly or more slowly based on factors like temperature and pressure.
It would
Now, Mark Reed there made a very good point. If, according to flat earthers, they think they don't understand the second law of thermodynamics. They think that gases, especially those that came from Nathan Oakley's group, they think that gases expand equally in all directions and that there's no pressure variation. But of course there is a pressure variation, and there's a pressure variation in the room that you're in right now. Anybody that has a smartphone can install a barometer app if your smartphone has a barometer in it, and see that your phone over the course of 1 meter can read a variation in that pressure. And so their idea that the gases expand equally in all directions is definitely not correct.
Not have a pressure gradient going up from high pressure at the bottom to low pressure at the top.
Good times for always, after it's about it here if you prefer. What we have is a bucket of ice water, okay? So, and that hose is coming out right here, and it runs up to this pressure reading gauge right here.
Oh, my clip cut off there. So, yeah. So they've shown that there can be a pressure differential within a container. Yes, but you need something causing that. And when we ask what is causing that pressure differential in the atmosphere, they don't have an answer. They never do have an answer. PhD Tony, Flatsoid is objectively a genuine idiot, as he has shown in his discussion. Of course. Of course. Now that was very weird. All right. Let's see here. Here we go. So we've now been joined by two people. We've been joined by, and the guy there who's showing off his boobs is David Kane, the convicted felon David Kane. I just so you know, go to the Flerf wiki and just keep in mind he is a for assault. Anyway, and then in the upper right, I don't know if you can really read that. If you can see that, it says Level. Does anybody in the chat know who that might be? Level. Level.
Where could you go?
We're not talking
Where could you go?
now.
Can you hear it?
So it's
only
still
south.
east to west.
Bev, it's Bev. His favorite word is level.
You'd have to go to your centre.
Which direction is east or west if south is every direction?
No,
South is just
you're going
opposite
to
from
end
north.
up going south. I said every. See, this is why
Every
I don't know if
direction
you're
away from
stupid or
north is
dishonest.
south.
Are you just stupid or
Where's east
dishonest?
and west?
I said every direction away from north.
All right,
is
so
south.
stand at the north pole, Sov. Where's east and west?
There are circles around that going in. They're. It's either going to be clockwise
East and west are circles now. Nice.
direction or
Where would you
counterclockwise
point?
direction.
Would you point south?
Where would you
No.
point?
Well, yeah, you would end up
You'd have
pointing
to point
south.
south,
Any
because every
line
direction
away
is
from
south.
north.
So
Any
both
line.
east and
Listen,
south,
east and west.
any direction is south.
Any line away from north is going to end
So
up.
any line, any line,
East or
any
west as well, not just south.
So any line away from
Show me where a latitude. Show me where the latitude intersects the North Pole.
anywhere away from north is south, east, and west at the same time.
Oh my God. Show me where a latitude intersects the North Pole. The latitudes are concentric circles around the North Pole. On the globe and flat Earth, it's the same. I'm looking for a map here that's not marked, not written on. I've written on most of these maps here. Oh my God. All right, this one's good enough. It's got some marks on it. There you go. So, right there's a little bit of a thing. So it doesn't matter where you are on this map. If you point in one direction, you will eventually wind up at the south ring, the 90 degrees south, right? So if you're here, right, that gets to the South Pole, or not the South Pole. They don't think it's a pole. Or you put it here, it eventually gets to south. Even if you start by going straight north, you'll eventually get to south. So I think that maybe is what Bev is talking about. Now, if you don't know, Bev is a flat earther. He refuses to accept that he's a flat earther because he knows that there's no evidence for flat earth, but he definitely hugs his Gleason map pillow every night when he goes to bed and cries himself to sleep.
No. So where does east and west intersect at the North Pole?
Both different circles. You just told us. One's clockwise.
Wait a second. I just asked you a question. Where does east and west intersect?
It's different directions.
Where do they intersect?
Apparently.
Where do they intersect with the North Pole?
The cardinal directions, aren't they?
They don't.
They don't intersect with the North Pole.
Why even ask that kind of a ridiculous question? Oh, it's not on screen. You're not missing anything.
Concentric circles going away from the North Pole based on your observation of Polaris. I'm going to keep talking over you until you shut your fucking mouth. And I will continue to talk over you until I'm done.
What's called what you're describing?
Do you know that? I'm just going to continue until you let. No more questions until you acknowledge my answer.
At least to make
no more questions until you acknowledge my answer. Are you ready to acknowledge my answer?
Yeah, it's the cardinal directions.
Are you ready to acknowledge my answer?
Make it good. Come on, you've got a bit of time to think about it.
North, east and west do not intersect with north. So your question is retarded, okay?
Can you do the same?
It's so dumb. I just love watching them. Just the hot Flerf on Flerf action. That's what I'm here for. And the last hour and 20 minutes of this is the best part, and we've just crossed into it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so E is, according to Wesley here, we got E is Elder Bear, who was on the panel there at this time. Oh my gosh, they're so dumb. They're so dumb. iSolder74 says those stickers to protect your brain that do nothing are backed. Better now that you put them on the side of your phone away from your head, so still wouldn't do anything. So yes, 5G is the 5G scamming and 5G nuttery are still alive and well, even though this year probably is when the 6G spec will be published. They tend to do it every year, every 10 years. And of course, it's mostly a marketing term, but I'll be covering that in a video soon. Basil Problem says, please comment on Dustin Nemos, the most recent knowledge fight episode correctly identifies him as an anti-Semite. Is it okay to platform him? He is 100% an anti-Semite. Yes, he definitely is. And it's a challenging thing to determine whether or not you should platform somebody that has that particular position when talking about some other position. I have faced Dustin Nemos on Modern Day Debate, and he got kicked off for for making an accusation about me. And so, is it acceptable to bring somebody on that has that position? The problem is, of course, that if you do that, then there would be almost no flat earthers that could ever be in a debate. Very few of them aren't. Right? The vast majority of them are anti-Semites. Dustin Nemos, though, I think is one of the biggest anti-Semite flat earthers that are around. You've got Whitsitt, who was good buddies with Nemos for a while, and picked up additional anti-Semite positions from Nemos by hanging out with him. But you've also got Owen Benjamin, who is a big-time anti-Semite as well. So anyway, so should somebody like that be platformed? That's a challenging question if you're not talking about that topic. And I don't have an answer to that. I can tell you that I have chosen not to interact with Iron Horse, also known as Flat Earth Aussie Jesus, also known as Ross Thatcher, because of his position on that. He's a pretty severe anti-Semite and is very insulting in his treatment of women. Specifically, he had mistreated women a lot on my Discord server, and as a result of that, I just decided that I wasn't going to debate him or entertain conversations with him anymore. But other people have. So I don't think you can just say because of this other position that they're not allowed to be platformed, because where's that cleared mark of demarcation? I don't know where it is. So, all right, there's one. Here comes the next.
You know why this is a mute argument anyway? Even on a globe, if you're at the North Pole or South Pole, every direction away from that is either south or north. So it's exactly the same.
Yeah, but what would happen if you went south and you found you were at west?
West of what? West of what?
Yeah, I think I made an argument.
You're going to go south. How are you going to find east?
Well, east is real easy. Your compass direction from north, it will be to your right if you're facing north. That will be east. Then what you want to do?
Wait. Oh yeah, okay.
Is you want to turn 90 degrees to your right. Hold on. You turn 90 degrees to your right, and you start in that direction. Now, what will happen is if you continue on in a straight line, you will start to go south. You will start to go south if you go in a straight line.
That's correct. On flat Earth, like I showed, if you begin due east, you will diverge from the concentric circle that is say you're at 45 degrees north where I live, right? And you head due east and do not change direction, you will diverge from the 45 degrees north latitude line. And if you continue going straight on this map, you will eventually wind up somewhere at the 90 degrees south circle, according to this map. On a globe, it's different. On a globe, which is described there, is a rhumb line, and a rhumb line creates a spiral around the sphere, and you eventually wind up at either the North Pole or the South Pole, except for one special case where if you're on the equator. If you're on the equator and you head due east or due west, you will remain on the equator. So all other spots, you will eventually wind up at one of the poles. So none of this is really important. It's because how could you on this navigate to be perfectly heading due east or due west without referencing the surface of the Earth? The whole point of it is to not reference the surface of the Earth if you're going to do that. It's not something you can really do.
So you have to continuously make course corrections based on where north is at on your compass.
How do you make course corrections, Sov?
But
and of course, you can't use a compass because declination varies. It's never perfect. But if you did maintain, if it were perfect and you were able to maintain a bearing where you're, rather than being straight, you were always following, the compass pointing due east or the compass pointing due west, then yes, you'd travel in a circle on both globe and flat Earth, and you'd stay on that line of longitude, that line of latitude.
By turning.
By measuring an angle to a curve.
No, by going by what your north heading is and going 90 degrees to that point.
But it isn't 90 degrees.
No, it's not.
Right? It's a circle.
That's a perfect.
You're on the right track. So what happens is, as far as you're concerned, your point on the Earth is 90 degrees from there. But to continue to stay at that 90 degree angle,
yeah, but to navigate that,
you can't have a point angle. You can't. Then how did they get if you can't have a point angle? How did they get the latitude?
Latitude and longitude are perpendicular. I told you that earlier.
How did they get the latitudes? What were the latitudes derived from? Where did they get these numbers?
Now, what's he gonna say to this? What's he gonna claim is where the latitudes were derived from? They're so simplistic. They are.
Okay, we have a grid system.
I understand what you have in the UK. I don't give a shit. Where do you think they got the latitudes from? Where did the latitudes
in America, from? Right? You have northings and eastings.
You asked a simple question, Dave.
Yeah, I'm trying to explain, right?
Simple question.
What we have in the UK.
No, they're not different in America. They're not different. So they're
northings and eastings.
Okay? We don't have metric latitude.
So
we don't
you have northings and eastings, latitude. And they are perpendicular.
What is the latitudes? What were the latitudes derived from?
Northeast being perpendicular.
Pole star.
Northeast being perpendicular. Now, Flatsoid said pole star. Of course, that's incorrect. Because when the latitude and longitude systems were put into place, Polaris was over a degree off of the center of rotation. So that wasn't it.
What? An angle, a measurement to an angle in the sky.
Elevation angles of a horizontal plane.
Okay.
You got it.
Then you got 69 miles.
Yeah.
So now, just for reference, if you did use it, imagine for a second that Polaris was right in the center. Imagine it was right in the center, and it wasn't off of the celestial pole by anything at all. Right? It's about half a degree off right now, and when latitude and longitude were described, it was more than 1.5 degrees off the center. I don't remember exactly. Let's imagine for a second that wasn't the case. Let's be in their fantasy world for a minute. If at 45 degrees, we've gone over it before, at 45 degrees north latitude where I am, I could then measure the height of Polaris. I am 5,000 kilometers from the North Pole. It's 45 degrees in angle. That means that Polaris must be 5,000 miles or kilometers in linear elevation. So then you just do the basic trigonometry, go to 20 degrees north latitude. Right? Knowing the elevation of Polaris can't vary based on where the observer is, right? It's an object, it has to be in one spot. Right? Then there is a certain triangle that you would solve, and it would then it would say, well, then if you're at 20 degrees 20 degrees north latitude with the distance between where you are and the North Pole and the height of the Polaris above the North Pole, then the angle must be some value. That value is not 20 degrees, but that is what we measure. Trigonometry demands that value be more than 20 degrees, but it's 20 degrees. That is a falsification of flat Earth. You can't say that the geometry works for flat Earth. It completely fails. It does not even come close. Vlad has been dunking on Monkey Calder, CK, ampersand, and I for hours. Is this Vlad being Ironworks 92,000? Anyway, Flatsoid, when presented with this insurmountable trigonometric problem for flat Earth, he then, at first he declares that trigonometry works. Then when you show that it doesn't, he says, oh, it's just an apparent height. Then how would you determine this coming into it, right? How would you look at that angle and say, even though the geometry only matches the globe, it's still flat? How would he get to that? Where would you come through? How could you, without first presuming flat, say that the trigonometry works? It doesn't. Not even close. He's so silly, says Icy Spin. Well, is it something that's funny to look at? I don't know. I'm not super. Don't like going into things without knowing what's going on. But oh yeah, while we're here, I'm gonna do this. It's 2 minutes and 31 seconds. We're gonna take a quick. I got an email from this person, and I thought it was a very, very well done presentation. The one I saw. Now this one I haven't seen, but I'll show it. So thank you for the aside. Oh, it's boring. Okay. Here is a channel called Star Stuff who emailed me, and I linked to her channel on my Conspiracy Tunes channel. But I would love if every one of you went and subscribed and had a look. So this is just a 2 minute 33-second video from Star Stuff.
Joined in on Simon Dan's global solar noon experiment to debunk flat Earth. Let's explore this. Hello everyone, welcome back to Star Stuff. On 21st June 2025, I took part in a global experiment organized by Simon Dan, a project where people all around the world measured the angle of the sun at solar noon to help prove once again that the Earth is round. Even though I'm in the southern hemisphere where it was the winter solstice on the 21st of June, and the shortest day of the year, I still had a perfect opportunity to contribute to the experiment because of the crazy sunshine that we get here in winter where I stay. The principles of the experiment work anywhere on Earth. At solar noon, the time when the sun is highest in the sky, I placed a vertical stick, known as an omen, on flat level ground and carefully measured the length of its shadow. Using that measurement, I calculated the sun's angle above the horizon at my location. Thousands of others around the world did the same at solar noon, and together we created a data set that shows how the sun's angle changes with latitude. On a flat Earth, those angles wouldn't make sense. But on a globe, they match up perfectly with what we expect from spherical geometry, just like Eratosthenes demonstrated over 2,000 years ago. This is simple science using everyday tools, and it works because the Earth is really a globe. So stay tuned to Simon Dan's channel, this channel, and everyone else's channel who participated to see the results of the experiment. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this experiment and you want to see more space truth and myth busting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Star Stuff. Okay?
There you go. All right. Go subscribe to Star Stuff, people. All right. Yeah, I don't know what we've got. YouTube, the sexist psyop is Yeah, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, the stuff that you're saying here seems a little weird. And are you trying to like press the edge of things, trying to be edgelord? Are you? I don't know what you're trying to do. So whatever it is, back off. Yeah. Yeah. So a bunch of people did that for Simon Dan. I saw that he had a little bit of a he had a short yesterday, I think, giving an update. He got quite a bit of response from it, so very excited to do that. So yes, I know what it is. Anyway, so let's get back to the cats here.
Yeah. 69 miles between each degree, right? So if you do 90 of them,
miles, yes.
Yeah. Then you've got.
Remember, they did this with They did this in nautical miles, so it's times 60, not times 69.
No, well, it's 69 miles actual.
It's actually nautical. It was derived in nautical miles.
You changed it to nautical, right? Let's keep it.
No, it was derived in nautical miles.
It was measured.
It was derived in nautical miles.
It was measured on the land.
Flatsoid. It was derived in nautical miles because you don't have land masses all over.
5,400 nautical miles of.
We have a distance of 69 miles in between a degree.
Okay, great. Tell me this then, Ed Elderberry. How do you measure 69 miles in the middle of the fucking ocean?
That was my point.
Done it on the land.
Yesterday, Flatsoid said that it was nautical miles.
You don't. That's why
Yeah, you don't. You're correct. It wasn't done on the land. It was done on the ground, and I'll show you some of the results. So here, mctoon.net/r. If you scroll down to the bottom here is some measurements. The history of the determination of the figure of the Earth from arc measurements. So this is a book published around 1900, somewhere around there, a little bit after that, where it lists a bunch of different measurements where people were trying to determine specifically this table here is the degrees, the distance between a degree of latitude across the surface of the Earth. And this is a table summarizing some, not all, but I tried to find the original publication for these, and that's what this is so this book here, History of the Determination of the Figure of the Earth from Arc Measurements, talks about them, gives their citation, but not a link to them because it was written before the internet existed. So here is my work to try and find the actual original work. So in 1729, Snell, Cassini, and that guy, Muchenbreck. This is on page 8 to 9 of this particular book. Measured 57,033 toises. So a toise was a measurement across the surface of the Earth, which I think is around, if I remember correctly, around 2 meters. Is that right? Anyway, in 1729, measured it to be 69.07 miles. 69.07 miles, which gives a radius of the Earth of 6,368.85 kilometers. In 1729, across the surface of the Earth. And they did this, when they did it, they actually measured across the surface of the Earth using some sort of a length measuring instrument. Sometimes they used rods placed end to end. Sometimes they used a chain that was specifically designed to keep a consistent length. And that's how they did it. They actually measured these lengths directly. And sometimes they use surveying techniques on top of it to do triangulation. So anyway, 1633. So I put them in order that they show up in the book, not in order of correctness or not in order of chronology. So in 1633, Richard Norwood measured it to be 69.55 miles. Now, how close is that? Very close. Here we have Jean Picard in 1669 got it 69.1 miles. This one's very, very close. So, all right, ARG says a twice is 1.949 meters. All right, so my memory was pretty close. I said about 2 meters. There we go. Anyway, just a short summary of some, not all, of the measurements that were in here. I mostly put the ones in that I thought I could find a reference to, and I haven't worked on this for a while. If anybody's super interested and wants to complete this and find some citations to the originals, I would love to get this updated. So anyway, this is how they actually did it. Including, if you've heard of it, the Mason-Dixon line. This survey was included in there, and they measured, as part of the survey, the length between lines of latitude. That's how they did it, right here, right across the surface. Is that Jean Picard related to the Starfleet captain? So it is my understanding that Jean-Luc Picard was named after the guy that flat earthers often reference, who went up in a metal container to a rather high elevation and looked out a 8-inch diameter, I think, thick glass window to see the Earth, and he said it looked like it had upturned edges on the Earth, right? And flat earthers are like, that's proof. Like that doesn't match flat Earth, because you don't think flat Earth has upturned edges. But also, it wasn't that high, and since then people have gone higher, and so they're cherry picking their sources. They're like, I'll take that one over actual photographs that people really took at that high elevation. They love being dishonest. Anyway, there you go. There's how they actually measured it. And so no, this Jean Picard is not the same Jean Picard that Jean-Luc Picard is named after. He's named after a different Jean Picard. So, all right. And that, I believe, oh, look how dumb he is. I think that was the end of that one. Yep. All right. That was the end. All right, here we go.
And how many miles, so hang on, how many miles have we traveled then in that 1 degree? What does that?
69 miles.
Flat Earth miles.
No, that's statute. You move
flat.
Flat Earth miles. No, that's statute. Oh my gosh.
They're flat miles, though, because you said it was an
There's no such thing as flat Earth miles.
Yeah,
miles is miles, no matter what.
Miles. Where do you guys get this?
It's funny, right? There is no such thing as flat Earth miles, but it doesn't work on flat Earth. They have to, redefine something.
Where's your flat Earth physics? Physics is physics. It has nothing to do with the shape of the goddamn world.
Is it measured flat? Is that 69 miles? Is that measured flat?
Yes.
No.
So it's flat miles.
No.
It's flat Earth miles, okay? 69.
No, it's not flat Earth miles. It's just miles.
Yeah, measured on the flat Earth, and it proves the flat Earth, elevation angles and all that.
It's an elevation angle. Do you know how elevation angles work?
We get it.
We get that. So then you move another
You're acting like a flat Earth was assumed. Stop that.
So when you move to a point shut up. When you move to a point where Polaris.
Who is talking in the background there? I don't know who that is.
Because you're the one that's assuming something else.
When you get to a point where Polaris is disappearing below the horizon, then you're at the equator, right?
Yeah.
5,400
And that will have been 91 degree measurements to Polaris.
Okay, and your point is?
And so 90 times 69 is 6,210 flat miles.
That's statute miles. We literally talk about nautical miles. Do you understand what nautical miles are?
Yeah,
they're measured flat miles, remember?
What is wrong with these people?
What difference does it make?
Oh my god.
All right, so if you're not Bev is a flat earther, remember? And this is hot Flerf on Flerf action. That's what this is. This is all right. I gotta, let's see. Kango44 said, I'm picking this out because it's funny. Christ, Bev has got one of the most annoying voices I've ever heard. Typical northern twat. Yes. I don't know how it's possible for his voice to sound as incredibly irritating as it does.
Did you guys go to school after school? I mean, did you guys go to like college?
That's the radius, right?
Did you guys go to school?
Shut up, Sov.
You did?
We're doing some maths now, Sov.
Hold on, wait a second. I'm asking you, did you guys go to school after your high school? After high school, did you did?
Went to university.
Okay, listen, go get your fucking money back. Go get your money back because they really did a number on your mind.
So Bev went to he took some I don't know exactly what he took, but I don't think he got a pretty fancy degree. I think so. He brags about being a surveyor. He took a class called site surveying, which is for very short distances, how to use basic construction grade tools to do things like, well, here's over here on the edge of the construction site, and here's how you get a distance over here to the other side of the construction site, or how you find where the building should begin if you have a benchmark somewhere on the ground, right? That's the kind of stuff that he did. Real basic kind of surveying, and he called himself a surveyor. He really does.
They really did.
There you go. What's the difference between nautical miles and statute miles then, Sov?
Nautical miles are based on observation. Statute miles are based on physical measurements.
Yeah, of an angle to Polaris, eh?
No.
So there's a difference between calculation and measurement.
My odometer on my car has nothing to do with fucking Polaris, okay? Nothing to do. It physically measures miles.
But no. Remember, Flatsoid just said there's a difference between a measurement and a calculation. The odometer on your car is not a measurement. It's a calculation. But by their definition, right?
Nautical miles were calculated based on observation.
You just said that when I moved 1 degree away from Polaris, it was 69
You're going south.
miles.
You're going
69
south.
miles.
When you move 1 degree away from it,
69 miles.
Go in any direction away from the south, like you said earlier.
Any direction away from north is south.
Right, okay. So as long as you're moving in that direction, which isn't one direction, it's every direction away from
any direction away from the pole is going south.
And you do that 90 times. You have a distance that you're going to make the circumference of that circle. You're going to call that latitude the equator.
Concentric circles, don't forget.
Right.
Yes.
So, all right, that's the end of that clip. So, Flatsoid has on the screen here, this is what, when he talks about trigonometry, this is often what he talks about. Because he doesn't know trigonometry, but he'll do these things here where you take 90 minus some number and then be like, that's trigonometry. So, and they're about to get confused about the circumference of the equator. Now, on the globe, the equator is 40,000 kilometers. And the distance from the North Pole to the equator is 10,000 kilometers, is 1/4 of the circumference of the Earth. Now, these are approximations. They're very slightly off because the Earth is an oblate spheroid, not a perfect sphere. So, now this is the challenge. On the globe, the circumference is 40,000 kilometers. Which is 29,000 miles, right? But on flat Earth, the circumference of the equator is not. It cannot, because you just do a simple pi d, right? So we'll go here, and then which is 62,000 kilometers. Where did it go? That's weird. The built-in one changed. So anyway, all right, 62. Let me get this here. Which is 39,000, about 40,000 miles. So on flat Earth, the circumference of the equator needs to be 40,000 miles, 62,000 kilometers. Where on the globe, it's 25,000 miles about. So there's a dramatic difference between the circumference of the equator on flat Earth and globe. And none of them can get this. That's what's coming up now.
So what's the circumference?
There it is on screen. 5
What's the circumference of your...
So that's not the circumference, Flatsoid, that's it on screen.
The circumference of the measured flat equator, please.
So the circumference must be of the flat equator 39,000 miles. That's what it has to be for a flat Earth.
It's literally on screen.
Go on.
That's not circumference, Flatsoid.
No, it's not.
No, that's not the circumference. That's the radius.
It's a radius, so it's 10,800 nautical miles.
The radius is 10,800 nautical miles. That's the diameter is 10,800 nautical miles.
No, do it. Do your calculation. Go on, Google.
No, that would be...
It's times 2.
About the diameter.
It's times 2. Wait a second. So Flatsoid doesn't know the difference between diameter and circumference, it seems.
2 pi r.
The diameter.
Pi r, Flatsoid.
Diameter is the circumference.
There it is. Diameter is the circumference. People, this is why he's top left. He thinks that diameter is circumference.
No, the diameter isn't the circumference.
What's the circumference then, according to you on the flat Earth?
2 pi r. Do your calculation.
Go on. No, you guys are the ones saying it's wrong. So go on.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, do you know what the circumference of the measured flat Earth equator
Go ahead.
is?
You tell us, Bev. You're the one saying it's wrong. So go ahead. Tell us.
I don't know what Flatsoid's shtick is right here. Why is he doing this? What the hell is going on?
Pi D. Go on. Off you go. Do your best.
No, what are you doing?
You
think it's wrong.
The maths, surely.
You guys don't know the difference. You guys think nautical miles and statute miles are 2 different distances. So.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so dumb.
Thought about the radius. You said you hadn't got a radius, but we've established you have a radius.
I'd have a rough guess, about 39,000 miles.
39,018 miles.
There you go, 18. I was 18 off.
See, let me show you what you're doing.
So, Bev, the flat earther, got that right. That would be the circumference in miles of the equator on flat Earth. That would be correct.
Measured this in standard U.S. Units, this pack of cigarettes, and it
Can you calculate what the circumference of the measured flat Earth equator is?
Listen. It came to 3 1/4 inches. Okay. That's like you, and then somebody comes along and says, no, it's not. It's 0.0825 meters.
What were you measuring?
Cigarettes. Cigarettes. Right here. I use the same thing. Okay, now I'm...
I mean, this is idiots on display. This is people that are too stupid to understand. This is middle school topics, and they don't understand it.
Measuring it in English units with an English tape measure, and it came up to 3.25 inches in standard English measurement, right? And now what you're doing is going, no, it's 0.08255 meters.
No, I'd say it's a quarter.
No, Solve. We are using the measurements that you just went through. 1 degree, 69 miles. For 90 degrees from the North Pole. Yes,
statute miles are not nautical miles, dipshit.
He didn't claim that they were. Oh my gosh.
I know that, but you've already
then
said
what is your malfunction then?
1 degree equals 69 miles. 69
statute miles or nautical miles?
You just said 69 was statute miles.
All right, it's statute miles. Okay, so
you don't have to say statute miles. When you ask how far is it between these two towns, you just say it's this many miles. Nobody says statute miles. It's right. He's being pedantic because he's a dick. Right? When you're talking about nautical miles and statute miles, you usually just put nautical miles in front of nautical miles, and you just say miles typically when you're talking about statute miles, because the default is statute miles. He's being pedantic here. But when you say 69 miles, if you know this topic, you know that's statute miles. And if you say 60 miles, you know that's nautical miles if you know this topic. My gosh.
Now let's convert that over into nautical miles.
Why?
It's the same. It's exactly the same.
It's the same.
It's exactly the same, isn't it?
Yeah. And so what?
The same distance. All we did was change our unit of measurement. That's all we did. How many meters? If we measure it in meters, is that now different? No, it's the same length in meters, isn't it?
It doesn't matter because
it's the same distance in kilometers and miles.
It's not what they're talking about, though.
Because
the distance didn't fucking change,
the globe one, isn't it?
What?
Your circumference of the equator is the same as the circumference of the equator on the globe.
Okay.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Okay, so do the maths.
Can one of you do the maths for the circumference? There you go.
Come on, what's the
33? Are you sure, Flatsoid? 33?
Mm-hmm.
Is that just one of Flat's 33s?
No, it's 39.
I thought it was 39. My guess was about 39.
You see, they don't know.
What's the circumference? What's the radius of the globe in nautical miles?
No, look at those two numbers he has there.
Exactly the same.
So, Flatsoid won't be able to answer that question. What's the circumference of the globe in nautical miles? 360 times 60.
So
it's the same distance. They're the same distance.
All right. So what is
21,600.
What is the radius?
I can't believe you guys think these
Shut
are
up,
two different
Flatsoid.
pieces.
Radius.
Oh my gosh. So Sov is hung up between, thinks that the disconnect is units. The disconnect is that on the globe, the radius is one thing. On flat Earth, the radius is a different value. It can't be the same linear distance. It can only be one of them in reality, and the actual measured value is the one that matches the globe. But they can't, I don't think they even want to talk about that topic because they know it doesn't match. They know it doesn't work for flat Earth. So, all right. All right, let me read a couple things. We got Pable 73 for 750 Uruguayan pesos says, we laugh at them. Actually, Flerfs are disgusting. They truly are. So often, they tend to be the most disgusting people on the globe. It's weird how consistent it is that the people that are flat earthers are such horrible people. Why is it that Flatsoid is such a disgusting liar? Why is it so consistent that Sov is just an absolute pig? And these people, a lot of the time, Sov and Flatsoid are these they like to present themselves as some sort of a spiritual person. Clearly, neither of them have what's called any fruit on the tree. Fruit on the tree would be, it's a religious kind of thing within Christianity about a good tree bears good fruit, right? You'd expect to see good things from them. But here you got Sov, who's a disgusting pig, who swears constantly, insults people, has made threats of violence against me, has all sorts of issues. Flatsoid says those things that he says about Lisbeth, lies so freely. things that are not fruit on the tree for matching their religion. So it's this weird thing, and that's super consistent. Not all of them. I can't say that, but it's way too consistent. Look at Sean Griffin, horrible person. Dean Odell, can't stop lying, right? That's who they are. Why so consistent? Well, because in order to fall for that kind of a thing, you have to be, it kind of requires you to be a certain type of person for some reason, and they happen to be just terrible people. So Kango44 says maybe Flatsoid should stick to spraying things with paint. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's a car painter. Maybe he is, right? Stick to that. Al Trucker says, I have a music video that mocks Witless. Also, hey, everyone. Hey, Al Trucker. Glad to have you here. Been a member for 11 months. You've been around longer than that, though, haven't you? If it's a music video, I'd be interested to see it. Send it to me. That's the I get sent a lot of songs. Like here's a song made by Suno. That's cool. But I get sent so many songs that I can't even just watch them all or listen to them all. So make it interesting. If you have a good song and you put some effort into it, and you made a video for it, then yeah, send it to me. I'd be interested in seeing it. All right. Kango44 says, in light of recent info, do you think videos featuring Ozian should be removed from MDD and your channel? In general, no. And here's the reason. I don't think that changing history or trying to whitewash history is how you make things better. So I don't think so. I don't know the timeline of when Ozian first showed up on my channel or MDD's channel and when he got caught doing the things that he got caught doing. So would you, if you're like, I'm going to remove stuff, then do you remove stuff only after he made those things, or all of them because he later became a bad person? And maybe he was a bad person and we didn't know about it. I don't think we can do any of that kind of speculation. But no, I've never been a fan of trying to rewrite history, of trying to whitewash things, of trying to say, well, let's pretend this didn't happen by removing references to it. So, when he was on my channel, he hasn't been on much. When he was on Modern Day Debate, it was not known to the people that were there that he was participating or doing those types of activities or had been caught for doing those types of activities. So it wasn't, some type of thing that the person hosting him is culpable for. So, I don't think that you can get too much on anybody for hosting him, unless he was doing things on the show and they let him do that, or unless they knew things and didn't say anything or still allowed him on. So I think that's generally my case. I could be convinced otherwise. So my position, I will say, I don't hold super strongly. So there you go. We got iSolder74 says mechanical gyro compasses. Mechanical gyro compass, that would be a way to measure, measures distance, or not distance, measures direction. A mechanical gyro compass doesn't help you measure distances. It doesn't help you measure change in your latitude. A mechanical gyro compass points north. Gives you your cardinal directions. So, a mechanical compass or a mechanical gyroscope potentially can, if you can, construct one that's quality enough to remain rigid in three-dimensional space while you move between latitudes. You could from that. The challenge is that mechanical compasses are particularly difficult to make such that they're that precise as you move that distance. You need to have a pretty good size. Typically, it needs to be a pretty large size because you need to have bearings that are quality enough that while it's rotating, it doesn't induce, because of the friction, doesn't induce any movement in it. So they're hard to make. They're really difficult to make. The materials engineering is not trivial. Bruce Wolford says, what type of gyroscope are passenger airplanes fitted with? Well, new passenger airplanes are fitted with optical gyroscopes. Older ones that did have mechanical gyroscopes, like in the cockpit, would have one in the actual display of the cockpit. They have there's two kind of like the more modern version of it. They have they're used not to determine your variation in latitude. Those are used to determine horizontal. And they work because they have pendulous vanes in them. And the pendulous vanes, while you're flying, while you're not turning, will tend to bring that compass to level. And the way it does that is when it's out of level, so it tips a little bit. There's the vane is just a thing that's not tipping with it. So the whole device rotates, and the vane doesn't, right? So, but there's like a hole in the actual body of the part that moves. So, and it covers it. So when it's here, let's say the hole is right there, that it doesn't blow out through that hole, and so it doesn't impart any force on it. But when it tips, then right here, the hole is blowing air out of it because this isn't covering it anymore. And so what that will do is that will tend to bring it back vertical over time. Okay, that's a rather simplified version of it, and the positions of them are not correct. But over time, as you're flying straight and level, it will come back to vertical, because the idea is that most of the time that you're in an airplane, you're not turning. And then when you turn, while you're turning it, that hole is going to start making it, correct it a little bit. And so if you stayed turning constantly, it would eventually get confused, because your downward vector, it would get confused about, because you've got some centrifugal acceleration going in there. But as long as you don't do that, then it will adjust to vertical over time again. So that's how it works, that you can fly 5 degrees different from where you started. And if it were perfectly rigid in three-dimensional space, now it's going to be 5 degrees off, but it's not, because of those pendulous vanes. It's a rather ingenious invention. Older versions of them did not have that, and so what they needed to do every once in a while was manually reset them. And so they would do what's called caging the gyroscope, where they would press a button and it would force it vertical. So you'd only do it while you're flying flat and level. And so they do it like every 15 minutes or so. And these planes weren't flying super fast, so they weren't moving a significant portion of the movement around the Earth. Anyway, so press the button and it pushes it vertical, and then let go of it. And so then it will then stay rigid in three-dimensional space for a while again. And of course, these are not giant gyroscopes. Their bearings aren't really as quality as you'd need in order to stay perfectly rigid for many, many hours. So, all right. All right. I'm a little cautious about this YouTube, the sexist psyop. He's talking about all these lying men taking it on women like Lisbeth, and it's this same in Britain. I don't know what you're talking about. All right. All right. Well, anyway, just YouTube, the sexist psyop. Let's do this. stay on topic. I don't know. I'm very suspicious of your position. I don't know what you're talking about here. Peter, how about this? Peter Markley, could you pay attention to YouTube the sexist psyop, and you moderate? Just nobody else. I trust Peter. Do you have a minute? Do you have? Can you focus on that? So I can't, and that's why I have moderators. But I have lots of moderators. Like if I see somebody who's been around a long time, I'll make you a moderator. But for the most part, we don't need a lot of moderation because I want people that are being stupid to have their stupid preserved indefinitely in the chat here, unless they go too far. So there you go. Okay. That was a long thing about compasses. So Icy Spin says Vlad has been dunking on Monkey Cat Pat, Calder, and CK and I for hours. So yeah, Vlad goes for a long time, and it's not super exciting. So all right, Earthly Skeptic says they like trig except when it triggers them. Of course. Flatsoid, I saw he did a post a couple days ago on I think YouTube talking about he thinks that we don't like trig. Like the trig doesn't work for flat Earth. It doesn't. iSolder74 says Flats does insist if two lines are involved, something is linear. If two lines, like we've seen, he doesn't understand geometry or trig at all. DPD Bunk says usually if your shoes are wet, you need nautical miles. Grandpa Scum needs to specify because he's incontinent and senile. I can confirm. Monkey Cat Pat says saying statute miles makes them sound like they know what they're talking about. They don't. And are just lying morons here for our entertainment. And I've got several more clips of entertainment to go. iSolder74 says Flat's shtick is to not admit to anything. Make the other say the facts so he can dismiss them. Then he declares a win. That is his shtick. And that is common with the Oakley, anybody that's got Oakley as their Papa Flerf. Rick Tubit says, let's heart it for the mods. Thank you, mods. There you go. All right. Let me get back to this. So he puts up this particular thing quite a bit in the next thing, the next couple minutes, next couple clips here. And he converts them between nautical miles and miles, and none of this works for flat Earth, and he doesn't get it. But he did compute the circumference here at least, and he got them correct. So, but the problem is this is not reality. The circumference of the equator is not actually 39,000 miles. It's not. That's the problem. But he doesn't understand the topic well enough to know that that's not correct. And he doesn't know that that's not the actual measured equator. And they say, and this is the problem, they claim that there's no way to measure it, but of course that's incorrect. You can go right on the equator and you can measure across land using your longitude, right? And they're like, well, how do you know the distance across the water? Because it's consistent. You just extrapolate. They're like, well, how do we know that they're not hiding something? Because this is very important. Because longitude was determined by the movement of the stars, and it's consistent. The stars move a consistent rate across the sky, right? And so where you are on the globe, on the surface of the Earth, you can determine your longitude by the offset of the stars with a known position. So long ago, people mapped the stars, and about 50 some navigational stars, and where they are in the sky in relation to Greenwich right? Which became 0 longitude. So if, for example, you know that a star was over Greenwich exactly 12 hours ago, then you know that you're exactly halfway around the Earth, that you're at 180 degrees longitude. If you know that it was 6 hours ago, then you know that you're at 90 degrees longitude. I'm in Minnesota, Minneapolis area, about 93 degrees. So we're about 6 hours offset from Greenwich. And of course, we do see that the central time zone to UK time zone is 6 hours offset most of the time. All right, so let's get back to this. I got it. Right now. Hold on a second. Yeah. All right. All right. Sorry, I got a text message from my wife. So here we go. Here's the next one.
You got a challenge on.
So guess what this shows?
All right, hold on. The issues I've had keep appearing, keep happening. All right, there we go.
Guys,
so
on the globe?
Math. Wait. So guess what this shows? The flat Earth math you're claiming comports with reality, correct?
I don't think that.
No.
Claim to be.
No, they don't. They don't comport with reality. And here's the problem. He doesn't know that.
That's weird.
Flatsoid. What is 3959 in nautical miles? It's not 6,210. 3959 in nautical miles. What's that?
35 what?
395. You know the number, Sob.
3959.
3959 is the radius of the Earth in miles.
Okay.
In nautical miles.
What is that in nautical miles? Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Nautical miles, that's 3,440.
3,440.
Oh, and yet the flat Earth one is 5,400. That's strange. And you both have the same circumference, apparently.
Where'd you get that number from? 5,000.
Flatsoid cave is 5,400. The antenna man.
3959.
So I mean, Flatsoid is showing on the screen the necessary circumference of the equator for flat Earth. But in reality, in order to determine the radius of the Earth on the globe, you just take the circumference of the equator. The circumference of the equator on the globe, you take 3959. They all like doing it in miles. Multiply by 2 pi, and you don't get 39,000. It doesn't match reality.
395 man's the globe.
The whole globe.
Yeah.
No, it's the radius.
Newsflash. The equator's size is the same on both.
Newsflash, it's not. That's how dumb Sav is. It's not. This is absolutely mind-boggling how stupid he is.
Okay, so the radius should be the same.
Wait, whoa. Are you saying that 39,000 miles is the
Earth radius? It's the Earth radius.
Is that? Have you never tried to do any maths before?
We're doing it right in front of you right now.
Yeah, I know. Is this the first time you've ever done it?
Wait. You guys.
It hurts me that Bev is right.
Wait, you know
what? For all you out in YouTube land, are you watching this? Are you looking at these numbers on the screen?
Wait.
Now they think these numbers are the same as the globe numbers.
Cut you up so you can listen, because I want to go sleep. Okay. The 3959 is the radius of the whole globe.
Yeah.
This 5,400 nautical miles is only the equatorial radius.
Of what? Of flat Earth.
It's half the Earth.
Flat Earth. Only flat Earth. It's not the equatorial radius of the globe.
Do you understand that?
Damn.
I understand how the maths works, Flatsoid.
You guys literally think miles and miles, nautical miles of this are different.
He's so dumb. They're so dumb. I can't believe how stupid they are.
The radius from the center of the Earth. Listen.
Wait. Is the 9359 the whole globe or just to the equator?
What the hell?
It's a radius.
Both radius to the equator.
Oh, and this equator radius here, is it just the equator or is it the whole flat Earth?
It's not the flat Earth radius. He's got on screen flat Earth radius 6,210 miles, not 3,959 miles. 3,959 is the radius of the globe. It's the radius of the globe equator. 6,210 miles is the radius of the flat Earth equator. They don't know that there's a difference.
Flat Earth equator.
No.
So it's only half the Earth.
But Solv just said that Solv said that the circumference of the equator on both models would be the same.
If I took
the equator on your Earth is the equator on the globe is 5,400 nautical miles.
Flats just said the circumference of the radius on the globe is 5,400 nautical miles. He's wrong. How does he's so dumb he doesn't get that. He doesn't get that.
17,000 miles bigger.
The equator on the globe is 5,400 nautical miles.
Your flat Earth equator is 17,000 miles bigger.
It's there on the screen.
5,400 nautical miles.
Let me ask you something. If I took a hula hoop and spin it down, listen to me. If I took a hula hoop and I put it around a basketball, okay, and it fits right around the middle of the basketball, and then I take it off and I put it on the floor, did its size change?
Oh my gosh, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. This is the thing. It's splayed out, right? You have to take that basketball, chop it horizontally in half, right? Chop it horizontally in half, and then stretch. So it'd have to be stretchier than a real basketball, but imagine it was stretchy, and then stretch it flat. Now, that distance from the center to the perimeter is a different circle than if it's not stretched out. It's a smaller circle if it's not stretched out. He doesn't get that. He's too dumb.
No, it's still the same fucking size. What are you going on about?
Yeah, and the center point to that circle.
All it is the demarcation of where the sun's center of.
But there's more land on the flat Earth, obviously.
Yeah.
You've got 17,000 miles more. And
why with the radius?
Yours only gets bigger after that.
All right. So here, Flatsoid has boldly declared just minutes ago that the radius of the Earth is not 3963 or 3959 miles. That it's 5,400 nautical miles, which is 6,200 miles. So Flatsoid has said that the radius of the globe is 6,200 miles. But here we have, he Googled it, 3,963 miles. So what will he say now confronted with his incorrectness? Well, we'll have to wait for the next clip. What is he gonna say? Oh my goodness. Let me make sure that this is oh, I didn't get that. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see what it is. I don't get my notes on it here.
To mute him. So let's put it this way.
All right. This is it's right in the next part here.
The best, and Bev is too retarded to understand. It says radius at the equator is 639, which is exactly the same as the flat Earth.
Oh my gosh! How stupid! 6,200 miles. 3,963 miles. He's so incredibly stupid. I think he read kilometers there. I think he read kilometers and just saw the number. Thought, oh yeah, kilometers. 6,300 miles. 6,200. Same thing. That's what he did. Wow. Wow. Oh, gosh. So very dumb.
As the flat Earth.
All right, I'm going to back up a little bit. I got to hear him say it again.
To understand, it says radius at the equator is 639, which is exactly the same as the flat Earth.
Where?
Kilometers and miles aren't the same.
Oh my fucking god!
Oh, Bev is totally right. And Flatsoid and Sav are both so dumb.
The same distance as you, moron.
No, 6,200 miles is not 6,300 kilometers. Oh my gosh, they're painfully stupid.
No, 6,000 kilometers isn't the same distance as 6,000 miles.
Where did it go? 6,000 miles.
It says 6,200 miles there. Flatsoid, he's got it highlighted.
Right
6,300 kilometers is the same as 3,900 miles.
Okay. Oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah,
the same
3,900 isn't the same as 6,200.
You're saying if I travel 6,378 kilometers, it's not the same as traveling 3,963.
No, I'm saying 3,900, right, is not the same as 6,200.
That's because one's in kilometers and one's in miles.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Stop. Just don't look at the kilometers. Just look at the miles. They can't. Oh, how can they be this dumb?
One's in kilometers, one's in miles.
Flatsoid wrote miles. Go back to your other one, Flatsoid. Go right back to your other one now.
I'm going to get a ruler quickly for you.
Why is he getting a ruler?
Get your other one out on screen, Flatsoid.
Oh, you got that on screen.
You're mistaking kilometers with miles, obviously.
Show him quickly on screen. Both units of measure on that.
No, not boob, man. Not the fucking adult with the boob on. Come on.
Listen to me. You see this right here? Where I've got my finger at is 1 foot, 12 inches. Okay? Now, how much is that in metric? Let's look. Let's see. I'm going to change this over to inches. I'm going to put in...
Wow.
Flatsoid, go back to your other screen that said 6,200 miles.
Inches. Okay, so now listen.
Be honest about this.
Hold on, you're about to learn something.
Come on.
Okay, so 12 inches, hold on. 12 inches is 30.48 centimeters. Does that mean that it's bigger if it's in centimeters?
Completely irrelevant here. None of this matters.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that at all. In fact, it's converted into 1 foot. Hey, how about this? It's 0.00035 kilometers. Okay, so does that mean that if it's in kilometers, it's a smaller distance?
Flatsoid thinks that 6,300 kilometers is the same as 6,200 miles.
Yep.
Never said that.
Yes, he did.
Go back to your screen, Flatsoid.
He did say that.
The one that says the flat Earth, measured flat Earth equator, radius, 6,200 miles. Not 3,000.
He won't show it. He I think Flatsoid has identified that he spoke boldly misspoke. He'll never retract it. He never does that.
1,959 miles.
Do you think that you're getting more if you buy a liter or if you buy a gallon?
I think you're getting confused there.
You get more if you buy a gallon.
Yeah.
No, I think you're getting confused. I don't think
I'm not confused at all. I know.
It doesn't matter.
I've actually worked this argument out.
Listen, shut
I'm the one with an argument.
Wow. All right. That one there. Wow.
I'm just trying to point out to you that your flat Earth, your measured flat Earth circumference.
So here, Flatsoid has taken to doing conversions of between nautical miles, miles, and kilometers, rather than look at his citation again that he Googled to see if it matches what he claims the circumference is or the radius is.
Difference of the equator.
You don't measure those things. Hold on. You don't measure those things. Those are calculated. Those are calculated. They're not measured.
Are you saying that 69 miles isn't measured?
No, it's calculated. Do you think somebody walked and counted their steps, or you?
Yes, 100%. People did, in fact, walk. Oh, he's so dumb. And measure their steps, but not that simply. They actually did a better job than walking and measuring their steps. They use chains. They use measuring rods, different techniques to actually physically measure the distance between points on the surface of the Earth. That's how these different surveys were done. It's actually how they were done to get their baselines. Really, that's how they did it. But yes, that did in fact include computation as well. Because if you have a measuring rod that's 2 meters long, and you have another measuring rod that's 2 meters long, and you put them end to end, how long is it from one end to the other without doing any calculating? You don't know if you can't calculate. If we calculate, we know it's 4. But if you can't calculate, all you know is it's 2, and it's 2. How many is 2 plus 2 without calculating? Don't know. You can't answer that question without a calculation. What if you put it together end to end 500 times? How far is it? Don't know. If you can't calculate, you don't know. And this is how incredibly dumb they are. They're trying to make this distinction between calculations and computations. And they do it because they want to put shade on people using math in their measurements. They're like, that's not a measurement. That's a calculation. Show me one. Show me one measurement that didn't have a calculation, right? Take his tape measure, right? The tape measure. In order to manufacture the tape measure, how would you do that? You've got 1 inch. Let's say to make a tape measure, you just, you make it and it's got no marks on it, right? And then you put a mark and you say that's 0. And then you go to the back room and you say, here is our 1 inch standard. This thing is 1 inch long. We know it. And you put it there at the 0. And then you put at the other end, you mark it. You put a little pen mark on it and you say that's 1. Okay? Okay, now you move that little thing forward so that the one end of it is at the one spot and the other end of it is where it's not yet marked. Okay, now you put another mark on it. And then you're going to write a number above it. Without calculating, what number are you going to write above it? Don't know. Without calculating, you can't answer that question. So you can't make a ruler without calculating somehow. So how can you measure anything without calculating? You can't. And that's the problem with flat earthers. They don't get this basic thing. All right, let's listen. It's going to be so dumb.
Here's the wheel.
They measured the land, yes.
No,
yes.
They used observation and calculation. No. They used observation and calculation based on observation. It's not a physical measurement. You cannot physically measure any place on the ocean.
No.
They didn't do it on the ocean.
But not on the ocean.
That's right. And how many thirds of the Earth is ocean?
How many times do you need to move 69 miles to measure an angle?
How do you know if you move 69 miles in the Pacific Ocean?
You don't. On land.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Already measured.
Yeah, you do. You do it based on observation. Observation and calculation.
In reality, you map.
I am talking about reality.
Then you can go and measure an angle to a light in the sky everywhere.
That's called
Then
a calculation, not a physical measurement.
What, a measurement isn't a measurement? Measurement of an angle.
This is a fucking physical measurement. This thing takes physical measurement.
If you measure an angle, is that a measurement?
I have to calculate that angle, don't I?
You have to measure the angle.
You could actually measure angles, Saab. I don't think he understands that.
You calculate.
You don't calculate it.
Okay, well, how do you measure? Let me ask you something. How do you measure something you can't physically touch?
What, an angle?
Yes, that's how you can do it. But he thinks the only way to measure things is with a tape measure. That's the only way you can measure things.
There you go. And so is that angle really there, or is it a perceived line of sight to an object?
It's an angle measurement.
It's a perceived line of sight to an object.
Jessica, the Transmetal Alchemist, says the OCD in me is mad that one of the letters, the S, at the end of Miles was not recolored to red. Yeah, and I had, when I first watched this, I watched him doing that, and I saw that he hadn't selected all of it. Sorry. Yep, I saw that as well.
Okay.
The line is not really there.
Let's try this again quickly because I really have to go sleep, guys.
Anyway. I think I'd sleep well. Try and forget about this, right?
Why? You're the one that doesn't understand that nautical miles is the same distance as statute miles, which is the same distance as kilometers.
Oh my gosh, but Flatsoid is avoiding. Right, he knows. This is what happened. He knows what he said. And he's avoiding it. He's digging into this unit conversion thing.
They're just units. These are all the same distances.
Yeah, but
they're the same
your
distance.
Circumference of 39,000 miles isn't the same as the claimed one on the globe.
And Bev, it pains me how correct that saying that Bev is correct.
Is 2 pints of paint the same as 2 liters of paint?
Not the claimed circumference of the equator on the globe, Flatsoid.
Is cutting a piece of timber 60 inches the same as a piece of timber 60 centimeters?
And that wasn't at all the issue.
In school.
This is what I told Sov. This is exactly what I told Sov. You guys are trying to wangle in misunderstanding.
No, this is reality, Flatsoid.
Between a spherical circumference and a planar circumference.
Okay, yeah, there is a difference between a spherical circumference and a planar circumference. But he said they were the same. Is he trying to change his story now?
A radius is a radius, man.
Circumference, yeah. The circumference.
Yeah, where's the radius taken from on a globe? Where's the radius taken from the globe?
It's supposedly taken from the center to the equator.
Okay. On the flat Earth, where's the radius taken from?
From the North Pole to the equator.
So the ones in 3 dimensions and the ones in 2 dimensions.
Yeah.
So they're different.
But he said they were the same, and now he's mocking them. This is how much of a piece of trash Flatsoid is.
Are they? What's a 3D radius in difference to a 2D radius?
Center of Earth.
If it's a straight line, it's a straight line, Flatsoid.
Yes.
So what's the difference between the straight lines in the 2 examples?
The one is going from a 3-dimensional object to the outside of the diameter.
So it gets longer or shorter.
The other one
does it get longer or shorter when it's in 3D then? The straight.
You also have to understand your globe is based on pear shape.
Not my globe. We're talking about geometry here.
And yeah, they love talking about the pear shape, where it's this very slight difference. Of course. The Earth is an oblate spheroid. It's very slightly out of perfect. But when you're talking about these types of measurements, that amount of out of perfect is a very slight percentage. And so it's not necessary unless you need the type of precision but they can't even figure out. They can't even figure out that the globe claimed radius of the equator isn't the same as the flat Earth necessary radius of the equator.
Yeah, flat.
You guys are fighting for a globe, are you not?
Yeah, my globe is the real globe. It's based on reality, Flatsoid.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Reality.
Yeah. So
I don't know what is Bev coming out as a glober here? I don't get this.
It doesn't have any physical impossibilities that have never been reconciled, incorporated into it at all. None whatsoever.
Impossible to explain.
There is nothing, Sav, you don't understand physics even slightly.
In the sun circles.
Oh wait, hold on a second. I think I have a hold on. Yes. Yeah, here's how much Sav doesn't understand physics.
You've got 14.7 psi at sea level. And the dead of space, or even just close to the moon, okay? The moon, they said, is 10 to the negative 11 torr. For those of you that want to know what that is in psi, it's a negative 2 billion psi. So,
yes, he said that. He said he thinks the claim is that the pressure on the moon is negative 2 billion psi. That's not the case, not even close. He's that dumb.
So if you're a carpenter, right? So if you're a carpenter, you're a carpenter. Right, when you cut a piece of timber that's 60 inches long, and I want you to cut a piece of timber that's 60 centimeters long. Are they both the same?
no, of course not.
No, and neither is kilometers or miles.
I know that. That's what I was trying to explain to you.
Yes, but
That's why nautical miles and statute miles are not the same.
So 3959 is not 6210.
What are you talking about?
The radius.
The radius of the globe is 3959. The radius of your flat Earth is 6210.
You think the equator is the radius of the Earth? It's not.
Okay, I'm going to explain.
No, the equator is the circumference.
Okay. I know where the impasse is with you guys. I know where the impasse is.
No, Flatsoid doesn't know where the impasse is.
Let's read it quickly on screen for you.
Put it on the screen.
Distance from the equator to the North Pole is approximately 10,000 kilometers. So that's literally what we have.
Yeah, so he's identified his mistake, and he's not going to go back to it. He doesn't want to point out that he declared that the radius of the globe and the radius of flat Earth are the same. He doesn't want to address that.
A sphere. Everybody knows it's not a sphere.
So that's why it's based in 4. So yes, our math is 100% correct. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but this is an arc.
Oh, but you literally want to go and tell us our math is wrong because globe. Now I'm saying based on globe, our math is right. This
distance they're talking about is not a linear distance.
Oh,
it's an arc.
It's 5,000.
Yeah, it's an arc. That's correct. I can't believe that I'm agreeing with this guy.
Quarter of a great circle. That's what they're talking about.
Okay,
all right. Sav not understanding great circle is amazing.
Right, that's straight though, right?
Okay, let me place it this way. Do you travel 5,400 nautical miles to go from the equator to Polaris?
What the hell?
The GP of Polaris.
Oh, the GP. Oh, jeez.
That's what you said you measured, yeah.
Do you? Yes, you do. On a flat Earth and a globe, correct?
No, I don't know.
Yes. One is a straight line, not a curve. On the globe, it's a curve. It's an arc. Very different. Jeez.
Did you say a ground position of a light in the sky?
Oh, my word.
What do you think north is denoted by?
Well, I've been told that, the Polaris is actually a circle of Polaris as well. I don't know whether you've actually ever talked to anybody about these sort of problems with the supposed claims, but yeah, you are aware that.
Wait, now in one breath you're saying celestial navigation is accurate, and now in this breath you're telling me that it's not accurate because for some reason
I don't know whether I've said that or not. So
tell me this.
You think Polaris moves?
Tell me this. Tell me.
Of course it does. It's not perfectly in the center. It's a half degree off the center of rotation, and they're so. They've been in this for how long and don't even know that. Don't even know the actual position of Polaris in the sky. They've never even looked deep enough to that. They went to the one time they watched Eric Dubay talk about that, where Eric Dubay claimed it was perfectly in the center, and they just parrot that, and that's it from then on. They just gobble up what Eric Dubay said, and they never change.
Me this.
I don't want to tell you anything. I ask you a question. Do you think Polaris moves?
People have told me yes.
I don't give a fuck what
there is a quarter of three quarters.
Or not.
There's a reported 3/4 of a degree. Yes. There's a
close enough.
Polaris moves
1.5 degrees apparently.
Yeah, that's what it said.
Okay, and this changes things how?
It means you don't know where north is. You've got a problem.
We do know where north is.
Where is it?
If you,
it's in the direct middle of the Earth.
Right, Polaris then.
Well,
you go south. You go south from the GP circle of Polaris.
So guys, I'm sorry, but I have to go sleep. Unfortunately, I've got work in a few hours.
The difference is, Flatsoid, is that that Sov says that the center is the north, and that's a flat, straight line to the equator. And the one you were describing from the north to the equator on the globe model is on the surface, and it's an arc.
Midnight Smoke, oh man, it's crazy to have a who's the dumbest in the room contest and Bev somehow loses. I don't get it. How is that possible? So weird.
It's not a straight line from the center.
Let me ask you this. Why is there no great circle routes that go north to south or south to north? The reason you think there's a circle.
How can he be that dumb? Oh my gosh. He's so stupid. He's so stupid. Sav is so dumb. Oh, he thinks there's no great circle routes that go north and south. He doesn't understand. He's not even close to being understanding. He's so far. He's so incredibly dumb. Oh, it's just, I don't get it. How can like he needs an iron lung. Like his brain is so malfunctioning that he should just live his life in an iron lung in case he forgets to breathe because he's so stupid. I got all right. I'm going to have him say it again. Beware.
North to south or south to north. The reason you think there's a circle route is because you're following Earth.
To the straight line to the equator. And the one you were describing from the north to the equator on the globe model is on the surface, and it's an arc. It's not a straight line from the center.
Let me ask you this. Why is there no great circle routes that go north to south or south to north?
Yep. He really said that. Yeah. iSolder 74, every single line of longitude is a great circle route. North to south, south to north. Oh. They are the things that are the definition of us. Like, the lines of latitude are not great circle routes except for the equator, one exception. All the other ones were not great circles, they're small circles. A great circle is the line that would bisect a sphere into two equal parts. Right? If you take a sphere, any plane that contains the center of that sphere will bisect that sphere into 2 points, or two equal hemispheres. And that line that just got that cut it, those are great circles. And so any direction, including every single line of longitude, is a great circle. He doesn't understand that. He probably thinks that the lines of latitude are great circles. He probably is that stupid.
The reason you think there's a circle route is because you're following the circles of latitude.
I was guessing and I was right. Oh my gosh. That is not great circles. He's so incredibly stupid. He's so dumb. Such an absolute idiot. I'm not insulting him. I'm complimenting him to call him an idiot because he's dumber than an idiot.
Latitude and longitude is straight.
That has nothing to do with a globe. That's retarded.
Okay, I'm going to do this again. If I had to climb in a boat right now and I need to travel from, let's say, the 20th latitude to 0, will I travel the same distance on a globe and a flat Earth to get to the same location?
Yes. One of them is a straight line. One of them is an arc.
It's reality, right? There is only going to be one distance.
It's a measure.
Oh my gosh. All right. Last clip coming.
And they're not the same.
The only reason is because you're taking it from a sphere.
So, when flat earthers start talking dumb, they're condescending, but they're dumb. When they talk slow, they're condescending, and they're dumb, and that's top left.
Dimensional plane.
And
you understand the difference there. You cannot claim 3 dimensions fit on a 2-dimensional plane.
You just used a sphere to validate the flat Earth, Flatsoid.
2 dimensions
You just
is only
used
based
the
on
sphere, the
surface area.
globe,
3
to
dimensions
validate your measurements.
Guys have to talk this way because they wouldn't shut up for 2 seconds because
Yeah,
they can't accept that it's the same distance. Thank you, Godzilla, for your $5 super chat. He says, "Get some sleep, Flatsoid. This isn't worth it." I agree.
Yeah, you
Thank you
have
very
to
much
use the
for super
globe to
chat.
save
You
your
rock,
ass.
Godzilla. You rock. I really appreciate it, man.
You guys are really
this measurement on the globe.
Yeah, wow.
really
Have a flat
desperate. You
Earth.
guys are really desperate. Your desperation
You're
for
letting
the
the
Earth
side
to be
down,
a globe
Flatsoid.
is
Your
so
family.
evident right now. It is so evident right now.
Enjoy the hot Flurf on Flurf action.
How desperate you are to make people think that they're on a globe, or for you to believe that you're on a globe. It's so obvious. Just in your childlike banter that comes out of your face. It's the real world. It's the real globe. Blah, 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 blah. Jesus, criminally. Can you guys ever come up with something new? No. You have lost.
Now, let me be clear. Bev and Elder Bear are not globers, unless they've changed since last I heard. They're flatties, just like the other idiots on this panel here.
The globe has lost its toast. More and more people are coming to the reality that Earth is not a ball of water flying around in the void.
Yeah. So, all right, that's the end of this one. He just rants for a bit on that. He more and more people. I don't know what more and more people he's talking about, because I don't know if there's a new flat earther since December, right? Because when you look at this, you're like, flat earthers like that what Earth looked like, and then you say, well, okay, but if you went to this spot on it right here, what would the sun do? It would be always north of you, right? But what did we see? Did you hear that there was a group that went to Antarctica and they saw the sun doing this? They saw it this direction. They saw it down, opposite the center, right? So when people hear that, like, oh, well, yeah, that doesn't work on flat Earth. The only people that blindly dismiss that are the people that have already drank the Kool-Aid, that are already committed to the flat Earth cult. So they're just fooling themselves. But other people on the outside looking in are like, well, they don't have a reason to reject that reality. So, can't you come up with anything new? Says the Flerfs. Yes. So yeah, I to my knowledge, there aren't any new flat earthers since TFE, at least not in any numbers like Sav wants people to think, right? But to be fair, let's just be serious here. There are dumb people that exist, right? Flat Earth is a targeted at the dumbest 0.0001% of human society, and so those people will always be there. And so yeah, those people are going to be susceptible to the flat Earth lie. And obviously they suck at doing their own research. If they didn't, they would know that Polaris doesn't just sit over the center perfectly still. They would know that. But instead, they've blindly accepted the words of Eric Dubay and just parrot them and made that their dogma. Their dogma, you can see it. Sav and Flatsoid have dogma that Polaris is perfectly over the center and that it doesn't move, that they have as a bunch of other things as dogma. Dogma being when Eric Dubay said things about Antarctica, Eric Dubay made claims about what the sun does in Antarctica. They accepted that as dogma. Nothing can ever contradict it. It has to be true. So, all right. The Angry Penguin is a new member at Newton. Thank you very much, Angry Penguin. iSolder74 says why the term clean their clocks exists. Very nice. Randomly Epic's been a member for 23 months, says took a break from live streams for a bit. I could only take so much derp. Now I'm back and ready for more. Well, we've got the derp. Siggy Sigwald is a member for 28 months at Sheldon Cooper. Says hola. Hola, thank you. Glad to have you here, Siggy. Kunamat has been a member for 5 months, says stupidity of Flerfs can be observed without calculating. Yes. Yeah, you don't need to. I'm gonna clip these couple, and I'll add them to my my collection of things that flatties say. Like this.
So,
you go on the same. Look at you. What are you, like 12?
Subscribe to my channel.
Wow,
I go against Jared. I know truth because blah, blah, blah.
I just love it. I love her. I can't. Her face when she's mocking Sav. It's her face. I can't believe it.
It's fine to question things, but you guys are not real investigators. You guys just believe any stupid shit you see on YouTube that has been easily debunked.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Oh, so good. All right. Here, what about this?
I'm an idiot.
Yes, you are.
My app sucks.
Uh-huh.
Dave's a scammer. He's selling a useless app.
Yep.
I swear on my life, I will pay you 6 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof.
Oh, but somebody should put him on suicide watch. We got Siggy says, I can't imagine what it would be like to live my life like Flerfs do. Such a waste of the only time they'll be alive in the history of the universe. Very true. And they dedicate themselves to being the dumbest people in the world. But, that was how they, that's their lot in life, is being dumb. And, they just want to flaunt it. They go and they prance around, showcasing their stupid in front of other stupid people, like, oh, Flatsoid, you've outstupided Sav. Sav, you've outstupided Flatsoid. Both of you outstupided Bev. Amazing. How did that happen? And so maybe there can be a competition between, Flatsoid wants to outstupid Slow Sanchez. And Slow Sanchez is like, oh, hell nah, I'm going to outstupid you. That's what they're all about. iSolder74 said that is every line of longitude, Sob. Yep, every line of longitude is a great circle. Huge R says, do something fearless. Translation, stupidity knows no fear. That's right. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Huge R. It's been a member for 50 months. Kango44 says, all these clowns are the tip-toppiest of left. It's crazy to listen to these adults. How do they function in the real world? Well, a lot of them don't. Flatsoid, think about it. Flatsoid paints cars, right? It's a pretty menial job in a country where it doesn't take a whole lot of skill to not be doing a menial job. Right. iSolder74 says, can't you come up with anything new? Says the people copying Sam Rowbottom. Yes, from 150 years ago. They just, same thing. Same thing. Siggy Sigwald says, I admire your misplaced faith in human intelligence, Toon. I have no faith in human intelligence. It's not there. It's not. Icy Spin says, welcome back, Oprah. Oprah being Siggy. So glad to have Siggy back. Always happy to have him around. Let's see. Here it is. So, Swallow GE, Alan's admission. Didn't Flatsoid lose his job? I don't know. I think he's got some challenges with his job. But apparently it's it's a union job, so the union protects him a bit, but I don't know. Yeah, he has a year to find a new job, so all right, it seems so tomorrow Craig and I will be doing our Wednesday thing that should be on this channel. The last 2 weeks it's been on Craig's channel, so hopefully it'll be here. And not certain what we're gonna do. It's whoever hosts it is the one that gets to plan it, so I get to plan what we do. And I got some ideas. Always open for more if people have ideas, but I have some ideas. So Derek the Dullard has been a member for 2 months. Says, love you, Mike, and everyone in the chat too. But do you love Gary Wybenga if he's here? No, not him. All right. Anyway, people, that's what I got for you tonight. I hope that format was good, getting the clips out like that, because that was a longer stream than just those clips, of course. Kango44 says Flatsoid could just get a job as a physicist. Yeah, because he knows more than a physicist, right? And of course, Flatsoid, to you one more time, the $1,000, $5,000 challenge, whatever you want to put up. Since you think that you're smarter and you know physics better than Wesley, who obviously knows pretty well, understands. I don't know his depth, but he certainly understands the basics of calculus, something Flatsoid does not. But anyway, Flatsoid, the offer to you, we both put money in escrow, 1,000, 5,000, somewhere in that vicinity. You can crowdsource whatever your portion of it, of course. And then we both take the same physics test. And my offer to you, to your benefit, is we take a South African first year of university physics test. And winner takes all. Pretty simple, Flats. If you think that you're better at physics than me or anybody else, then I think that you should be ready to back it up. So there's the offer. There it is. Silent Dave says, when I hear Flerfs, I hear Charlie Brown adults. Very true. Okay, people, thank you very much. You know what Flatsoid does? He makes things up.
I make things up and I'm wrong again. I ain't ever gonna live this down. I make things up and I lie again. Ain't ever gonna live this down. I say the sun is fake. I say the snow is fake. I said I wasn't asked to go, which I know is fake. I have songs to remind me of the good lies, and PJ reminds me of the other lies. Oh, silly boy, silly boy, silly boy. Oh, silly boy, silly boy, silly boy. I say the trip is fake. I say the shadow